all that much.
I mean, Chase can use a scroll. He'll just have to make a check to use it.
Technically, yeah, he could.
Wait, so can I not use that scroll too?
Not a revivify because it's not on your spell list.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
He can because it technically is something he can get, but he has to make a check because he doesn't actually know it. So it's gambling if he can pull it off, more or less.
It
Okay.
just increases the risk of death in this game.
That is also, yeah, another reason that it's probably a good thing for a style of this campaign. But we can hop right in with, at the end of last session, your party had just returned from the fighting and conflict that had stirred up in Port Zune. You returned to the base, guarding a party which went near immediately wrong, after learning some people to be suspicious of, at least. You were nearly poisoned yourselves as others started collapsing around you after eating some poisoned whale meat. You suspected a waiter that was drug away and teleported out when Astrid, the Archmage, teleported away from the Dwendalian Empire. You then, after completing that mission with mostly confusion and very little progress, and actually figuring out who did what, you kind of fist fought Zal's sister as a show of, hey, we're not weaklings, we can handle ourselves, and then went to Something's tent at his request to receive your next set of operational notes, more or less. You are told to either today, this night, or the next morning, head out into the Empire, trying to avoid detection as shore wardens while attempting to gather a large weapons supply that the menagerie has just purchased from the Dundalians. These weapons are vital in any sort of defense they may plan, so failure in this mission could well doom the Wayun Gates. You guys have just exited Something's tent and are now meandering about the encampment at around 5 to 7 p.m. Probably about 6, to be honest, as the sun is low in the horizon, mostly because of the mountain range, but technically it is about to sunset. What are y'all doing?
Okay. So Zal's gonna like. Wait, hold on. Did something say he was going to like give us like winter clothing and stuff to go through the mountains?
Yeah, Something said that any supplies you need, you can head down to more or less the stockpile, where everything that soldiers get and need and use is stored, where all the food and equipment is. You are to go down there, and he will have he already has it ordered that you guys could easily draw it out in your names.
Okay. So Zal will just like go ahead and start going towards the stockpile.
I guess Cutter will follow him.
All right, you each begin your way heading towards this stockpile. Uh, it's not a very far trek. Everything here is quite condensed, even more so because they emptied half and moved it to the same side as the other half to make space for the party of late. You quickly find your way to the second largest tent in the location, second only to Something's tent himself. This is a large tent reinforced somewhat with wood and stone to make it a semi-permanent building, somewhat defensible. For the most part, though, its main function is just a cut that is like a really sharp square window that is obviously someone who's just drug a knife over the canvas, with a man standing behind this large boxed out window. Obviously, being the only way in and out, you would have to jump over into the tent awkwardly, but it just functions, so most people don't seem to really care. It also makes it slightly harder for any attackers to try and steal anything, as they would have to jump through this one entranceway or break in one of the side holes. But the man standing there now is one you might know just from milling around the base. He is somewhat known as he is probably the oldest soldier on the wall at the moment, and obviously, therefore, one of the most trusted to guard and secure everything needed to make this place run, more or less. And he's standing there now, looking over two long swords and trying to determine if they need repairs, as they somewhat are damaged.
Zal will like go inside the tent, like around, seeing the oddity of the only one way of getting in, but he respects the function of it more so than the detail of it. He goes over to like the presumably quartermaster of the tent and will clear his throat. Excuse me, but me and my group here would like some clothes for the winter.
Uh, son, it ain't winter yet. You're probably fine.
Um, well, we're going to the mountains.
Well, that makes a little more sense. Any particular reason why? Or am I like,
We have
is
a
that
mission.
privilege information, or...
Uh, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said we have a mission. Yes.
It's orders from something that we go up there.
Well,
Yes.
I have the supplies. Y'all give me your names and I'll check the list, see what I have here for you.
My name is Zal Ray. I'm the blacksmith around here, or at least one of them.
Alright, Zal Ray. About you? Points over at
Um,
Kodo.
I got to check my character sheet for his last name. I forgot his last name.
That's fine. We all forget our last names.
Yeah, I forget my
It's
last name every
something
day.
weird.
That's
I
cool.
don't.
Every time I put my name on a paper, I have to think about it for a second, you know? It's super normal.
Okay. My name is Totoro Dragonwine.
That is fancy. Right, I do in fact see those two names. Definitely misspelled it on here once though. I'm talking about Kodoro, of course. Is that just you two?
I'm there, Anna.
I'm asking, but also he's asking, is it just you two that are getting the supplies?
Oh, me too.
What's your name then?
Orion Pesh.
And he flips through the pages a few times. Yeah, sure. Whatever. And he, like, puts down his... kind of almost slams it down. He seems to be more or less just done with the fact that he's continuously put on this duty. And he, like, stalks around the corner. Just, you can hear his footfalls and the clanking of his greaves, though he doesn't wear any armor other than greaves, so it doesn't serve much purpose. As he just walks around the corner, clanking them heavily, obviously roughly tears some things off the walls, heads back out, tosses them down. That right there, you each get one healing potion. You each get winter clothing, as well as some pythons, so you can climb up the walls of the mountain.
Pythons?
Yeah, pythons.
Is that like the spiky boots or whatever?
What that is when you're trying to climb something, you hammer it into the stone or ice, use it to support yourself, you stand on it and hammer the next one up, and then once you're on that one, you tear the one beneath you out. And just keep doing that. It basically makes it where if you do fall, you don't fall to your death when climbing.
So it'll just be like, ow, I have a scrape.
Yeah, it'll delay you, but usually when you fail a climbing check, you fall all the way down. This will not let you take damage or die in any way. It'll just delay you instead.
And I'm assuming that health potion is just a normal 2d4 plus 2?
Yeah, just a regular health potion.
Okay.
The man sits like gruffly back down in his chair. Hey, you think this needs repairs? Looking over at Zal. It's kind of bent, but you think it could be used for training, or you're a blacksmith, so.
Uh, what exactly am I looking at?
He like quickly, or not quickly, but almost aggressively shoves the blade forward at you, and it is a long sword that has a slight curve and bend to it, as it likely has been like struck hard against a tree or something, and bent because of it. Usually means it was a poorly made blade, or someone really screwed up with their edge alignment. It could probably be used, but not for actual combat unless you wanted to actually heavily hinder the user.
Uh, okay, so I don't have to roll anything. I can just
Yeah, you know weapons.
yeah, okay. So I was just gonna like look at it as like I probably get that checked out. That's not capable of combat. That'd break in like 2 swings at most.
Fair enough. He then throws it to the side, just a pile of weapons is collected that he's probably going to get remade or reforged. Which is ever growing as no one seems to actually take on the task, apparently. Most of the blades at this point are partially rusted, even.
Sal kind of just like look at the rusty blade pile. He kind of feels sad as he's about like maybe like the only blacksmith who was actually caring about that pile. It's like, well, that's not getting done anytime soon. I'll be outside. You guys can get ready, or if you have anything else in here you guys want, that will kind of like walk out.
Insightful, Chase.
What? What?
We don't know. We just heard you laugh randomly.
What are you talking about? I'm so confused.
You a strange person, Chase. Either way, you have headed outside Zell. Are any of you going to do anything else, or just going to join Zell?
I want to know if they have anything like a tinder box or anything in here, like a tinder box or some oil, just something to help get a fire going, just in case we ever need one.
He looks at you kind of curiously and just goes, "Well, I guess you must have lost it." Yeah, I can reissue the basic survival kit for 2 gold pieces. That comes with 2 days of rations. It comes with a fire starting kit, everything you need. Comes with a dagger, some rope. It's pretty cheap, but it's army issue. You're only allowed to get 1 a month. So I mean, if you just want to buy the survival kit again, because you apparently lost your first one, I assume.
Yeah.
All right. Just give me the 2 gold. I'll mark you down that you've got yours for the month, and I'll go get your supplies.
Kotaro reaches into his gold pouch, or his coin pouch, I guess, and hands him the gold.
All right. He takes the 2 gold, puts it in a like a bag that just looks to be a bag of very loose change, or even just sounds to be, because you know it's far larger than it should be, just because of how many coppers are passed through here for no apparent reason. And he quickly runs around the corner, grabbing a small leather pouch that contains all of the supplies necessary, laying it in front of you. You gather 10 foot of rope, tinder kit, 2 days worth of rations, and that is all, I believe. Yeah. Anything else y'all are asking for, or are you just going to join the outside for now?
Um,
Do they
uh,
have a
uh,
god slaying sword?
No, not quite.
yeah, do they have the dwarven hammer throwing in here?
No, they don't carry magic items.
Uh,
They carry very specific kits.
actually, there is one last thing I want to look for and pay for. A pint of oil.
He once again cocks his head to the slide and just goes, I mean, sure, why not? Pint of oil. He looks around, probably for a lantern or something. Here you go. Just sets it down. Doesn't even try and charge you for it.
Epic. All right, that's me. I'll leave you to your devices, and I'm gonna walk outside and chill out with Zal.
Are you trying to purchase anything else, Orion, or are you just going to join the troop?
Just going to join the troop. We're on patrol.
Oorah!
You wander your way back to the rest of your group, and you guys are now gathered outside of the stockpile. The day is getting slightly darker. It's about 6:30 at this point, as you had meandered through the town to get here. If you were going to leave today, you might want to do it soon, as guards get far more thorough at night, trying to stop any smuggling attempts.
Alright, I suppose we get going. Oh, sorry.
Good idea.
Okay, I don't think... is there any, like, horses that, like, are for everyone's use? Or no?
Usually,
I have a horse.
yeah, usually the only horses are purchased horses, as the military can't really supply everyone with a horse. So usually it's up to the soldier to purchase. They will maintain a horse for you, but you have to actually purchase it yourself and save up your own cash.
Alright, Kotaro, I, saw that you had a horse of your own. I could probably go buy myself one. Then as soon as I get my horse, we should, get going.
Indeed.
And I'm gonna go to a stable. Oh, sorry.
You head to
I think Kotaro wanted to say something. So,
I was gonna just say like I wouldn't worry about it, but it's probably a good idea to get a horse.
okay.
Okay. You head to what normally would be a stable in a town, but seems to be a merchant cart that has become semi-permanent. When this cart was damaged, it seemed to have just never been repaired and just stayed here, and the merchant did as well. And he has like a weird operation going on where he has all of his supplies in a cart like a merchant would, but also like a makeshift pen set up behind where he has grazing horses not too far away. It is odd, but I mean, people make do when they're stuck in a military camp, I guess. Maybe he thought it was a good place because people trade here. Who knows? But he likely breeds or imports horses from the bigger cities. And you don't recognize his face, as it was probably pretty recent that he moved in. But he's a young fellow, human of make. At the moment, he is reclining back, leaning against a bag of flour, it seems.
Okay. So I was gonna walk over to him. I was like, excuse me. May I purchase a horse from here?
I mean, yeah. What kind of horse are you looking for, though? I got all kinds of horses. Some are trained and all that. Some are gonna fight with you. Some ain't gonna fight with you. Some are gonna run away. Right?
I'd like a pretty strong and trained horse.
All right then. All right. For a war horse, with all the training I put in, growing a strong one, making sure the breed is just right so they can fight proper, that's gonna cost you about 450 gold pieces.
Is there any others that don't cost that much?
Well, there's the ones that probably won't want to fight with you. You could force them in, but I mean, a regular horse just to ride would be fine.
I
That would only be
rather
about
just
75 pieces.
what expensive horses. I'll just buy one of the 75 ones.
I mean, if you want something that's kind of basically garbage, can't even carry nothing. They're kind of the weaklings of the troop. I could give you 50
No,
gold pieces for it, or you can give me 50. I mean,
I'd buy the 75 one. Thank you.
all right. You hand him a 75 gold, and he wanders into his field, picking out one of the horses that don't look to be extremely, healthy and strong and well trained, but instead one of the middle ground horses. They look like they can carry quite a bit, but I mean, you don't really have anything to carry other than yourself. He walks it back over. I mean, you can name it if you want. If you fight something, it might not last, so get too attached, and he hands you over the reins.
We'll see. Thank you. And then Zal will climb up the horse and start walking with the horse back to Kotaro and the others to get them and get to the gate, because time is of the essence.
Okay. You gather your troop up. I'm assuming Orion hopping on the horse with one of you guys as you make your way over to the gates. It is at this point close to 7 o'clock, and it's dusk about now. So any later, and it would be considered nightfall. The guards are slightly more thorough, but they're not going to pat you down and strip search you, especially just 3 guys on a horse with nothing on them. They don't really suspect anything of you. So if you even try and conceal the shore warden coin that you carry, they're not going to find it. You make your way through and into the Empire for some of you, if not most of you, the first time in your lives. Though it is dark, you can tell almost immediately a kind of difference in just the attitude of things. As you turn around to look back at the wall, you see, instead of the luxurious carvings and welcoming look of the menagerie wall, while it is mostly made of wood, this one is instead made of sheets of metal. All of the stairs heavily fastened together. It's made for war and functionality more than it is any sort of beauty. It's a fairly ugly wall, but if you were marching against it, would be extremely imposing, even from the defending side. You continue your walk into the night, unworried that anyone would harass you, and make your way up towards Hupperduke. Is there anything in particular you'd like to complete on this journey? Because otherwise, you guys have no hindrance while traveling.
I'm gonna get all my rages back, but other than that, I don't think I have anything unless anyone else has stuff to do. Which I'll be right back though, because I need to go do something.
I'll be right back. I'm assuming no then? Alright. You guys just... First, who's keeping guard? Because I'm assuming one of you is at least keeping watch while you're traveling.
One that's riding.
I mean, you're all technically riding.
Yeah, but he's riding on the back.
Okay. So, I guess I'm just going to make you go ahead and do it with advantage then, Kotaro, because he ain't here.
Yes?
What Man, happened? Am I the only one here right now?
Probably.
I'm here.
He's here now. So, you can either decide to roll individual perceptions, you and Zal, Kotaro and Zal, or you can give one of y'all advantage.
Zal, what's your wisdom? Because I don't have, any bonuses or anything.
I have a 16 wisdom.
Yeah, you do it. I'll give you advantage.
Okay. Chase, are you here, buddy? Oh.
Okay, so one thing I
I
will
think
ask is, what is your travel pace? Are you all just keeping a normal pace? You trying to push it real fast, or are you trying to go slow and take your time and be careful?
just a
I
normal
feel.
pace.
All right.
Oh, unless you want to do something else, Ethan.
Well, I do kind of feel like this mission is like a time sensitive thing.
If you get to the wagons and they've already been attacked, I mean,
That is true. Probably we'll go at a normal pace for now, but since we're only just starting and we're like not that far from the gate, then we'll go into a fast pace.
more or less trying
So
not to draw attention by getting far enough away so no
yeah,
one
and
gets
I
you.
rolled a 12 for my perception because my luck ain't gonna be doing too good today.
All right. With a 12, you don't see anything out of the ordinary as your first days of traveling. About how far and how many days of travel uh, do you do before you switch to a faster pace, though?
It depends how far is Upper Duke from the gate.
Hupperduke, if you go for a normal pace, is 23 days away, or 23 and a half days away. If you go at a fast pace, it is only 18 days away.
Okay, we travel for about like a day and a half before we just start sprinting.
Okay. Day and a half. I need to get my calculator. What's 642? What's 42 minus 27?
42 minus 27.
15. Alright. After that, you begin running. After the first day, you charge on forward, attempting to close the gap as quickly as possible. It will take you a total of 18 and a half days. That's wrong. 19 and a half days, sorry. To make your way all the way to Upper Duke, which you don't end up doing. During this trek, your perception is the same roll that you rolled a second ago, but you don't notice anything as you walk by. The caravan actually almost sneaks up on you with that perception check, as about 10 days into your journey, of what would be the normally 19-day journey, you are pretty much halfway to Hupperduke. You see what you suspect to be the caravan, flying the flags of a menagerie and heavily guarded with 12 wagons at your count and almost 30 guards. They obviously take note of you as you approach, not knowing that you're on their side, and seemingly wary for some reason. You're riding fairly close to them, and within the next 5 minutes or so, you can easily ride up to catch them and encounter them.
Well, man. So they have the flags, and they're obviously shore wardens from what they are wearing, and the flag, obviously.
Yeah, their flag. I have no idea what Chase said. An hour ago, but their flag is of the menagerie. The large galleon sailing is depicted. Uh, these people are wary at your approach, but I mean, yeah, you know they're shore wardens. They're dressed like
Do I
them.
see
They have all of the stuff.
from my distance? Do I see like any of the like the big weaponry?
You don't really see any weapons, as they seem to all be covered wagons. Every wagon on this trek has some sort of tarp or cloth covering to hide what's on the inside. And as you guys like pull up next to them and actually begin to pass the lead cart, you notice that even the back and the front of the cart has like cloth hangings, so that you can't even see in the back or the front. Unless you're inside the cart, you can't see what's in it, more or less.
Okay.
They're trying to obviously hide this so that no general populace decides to try and do anything about it.
Zal kind of like nods before turning his horse around and going up to the, kind of being like on par with the first first cart, looking at the driver. Excuse me, sirs. May I ask what you're carrying?
The shore warden captain is the one riding the first cart and obviously kind of pacing next to it, not actually on it. He is pacing next to it and on his own steed, and he intercepts before the other guy can answer. And why might that concern you, sir?
Well, see, me and my two other pals were looking for a caravan menagerie, and then he'll like go through his like pouch, his coin pouch, digging it all the way to the bottom to like a small hidden compartment that he made, and then we'll pull out a shore warden ring, or not the ring, a shore warden coin, and show it to the captain.
Takes it and looks it over. Fine coin you have there. That does
Certainly.
kind of says that you are a shore warden. Can't be entirely sure, but if you are who you say you are, if you're not, I think there's too many of us here for it to matter. We're carrying the weapons to the menagerie. Yes, if that is the wagons you're talking about, it's probably us.
All right, good to know. Okay, he'll then pull out the seal of something, hand it to him. We have orders to direct you to a different path as a disaster or tragedy struck the party a few days ago, and it's safer if we take you through the Cyros Mountains.
He looks at the paper, taking it out of your hands, breaking the seal himself and unrolling the paper. He like shakes his head after reading it and shoves it in his pocket. Now how are we going to get 12 wagons heavily laden with weapons all the way through the sides?
I know it is a dangerous journey, but see, things are not looking too well right now. It is better to take the risk of going through the Cyros Mountains with me and my two other valiant companions to help you with anything that comes in our way, and to make things. And just to be sure, I can assist with any wagons if they tend to break. I am a official blacksmith. And if there's anything dangerous on the road, me, my friends, and possibly some of these trained guards can help with anything that comes on the road.
He just shakes his head and just goes, if it's some king's orders, I guess we don't really have a choice. I guess. Lead as you may, then.
Excuse me, sir. There is one thing I feel like you should tell your men about.
And that is?
Of the large gangs of man-eating trolls that patrol that area.
Of the what?
The large groups of man-eating trolls. Have you not heard?
No. Trolls usually stay in swampy areas. Cyros Mountains, definitely not swampy areas.
Yes, that's why I thought you should warn them about it, because it is so unusual.
Make a deception check. I don't know why you're randomly lying to this dude, but make a deception check.
Zal's also going to make a... Zal's going to make a insight check as he doesn't know either.
It's so bewildering. It sounds true. Nah, I have horrible charisma, bro.
Oh god.
11.
Jesus.
Yeah, this dude, he definitely knows that you're just messing with him. And he just shakes his head and just goes, lead as you may, I am going to warn my men, but not about that. I'm going to warn them we're changing direction.
Kotaro, I do appreciate the jokes going around, but we are heading into pretty dangerous territory. I don't want any of the men to be terrified of whatever comes their way.
Ah, don't worry, you have me along.
That is true. If I remember correctly, I think trolls are very scared of fire, if I remember correctly. And then Zal will like look. Zal will like look back behind Kotaro to Orion. Orion, would you like to go up front with me and Kotaro, or do you want to stay in the back somewhere?
Um, I think I'm needed more in the back. It just seems a lot. What, to be frank, easier.
All right, Kotaro, if you want to be in somewhere in the middle, I wouldn't blame you. It will be getting pretty cold up there, and you did fought well against my sister, but things up close aren't going to be so merciful.
Uh, well, if it's all the same to you, I believe I'll stay in the front with you.
All right. He'll Zal will look back at Orion. Orion, if anything happens to the wheels back there or to the carts, let me know, okay?
Okay.
And then Zal will start riding towards the Cyrus Mountains.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, how long is this caravan, in carriages?
It's 12 carts full of goods, so it's not massively long. To walk up and down, it takes less than a minute, but it is a large caravan by most standards. Most caravans don't breach the size of 10 carts, as to hire the amount of guards that it would require to make any more safe. As the more carts you have, the more enticing you are to bandits, would just lose profitability. So this is large by that standard, but also far more heavily guarded than the average caravan. So, I mean, if what you're asking is pretty large, but not really for walking distance.
Okay. I
No
was just
more than
making sure
100
that I
foot back.
didn't need to be in the middle.
Yeah, no more than 100-foot difference between the front and the back, more than likely.
Yeah, that's not bad.
As we're walking though, Zal's gonna look at the captain. Captain, if you don't mind, but what is your name?
He turns around. He turns around, kind of annoyed that you keep calling him back and forcing his horse to do weird, awkward spins. He just looks back. Name's Jonas. Don't see why you really care, but what's your name?
Well, Captain Jonas, it's always good to know, commanders by their names. My name is Zalray. He'll look at Kotaro to see if he wants to introduce himself.
I am the wizard, Kotaro.
Alright, the wizard Koto. Nice to meet you, and you, Zal Ray. Have a nice evening. I am going to go back and rejoin conversation before you interrupted us.
Alright.
He
Then
kind
Zal.
of at this point huffs away at so fast. He makes a small trot with his horse to try and get far enough away that you're not going to call him back again. Before rejoining conversation with one of the other people.
Well, he's certainly rude.
You want to find
But,
some other questions to ask him?
Huh? Sorry?
Do you want to find some other questions to ask him?
No, I think just the first name basis is good enough.
Suit yourself.
Kotaro, head the front for me a bit. I'm going to check to see what kind of weapons are in the back. And then Zal will, kind of get off his horse for a bit. Whistle for it to, follow the caravan, but, hop on to the first cart and then kind of, go inside and check to see what's all in there.
You more or less tie your horse off. It's not as well trained as a warhorse. It probably isn't going to know whistles well enough to be able to just follow along like that. So you tie it off to make sure it doesn't wander away, making it join the march of the first cart and keep pace. You hop on to the back of the cart, lifting up the cloth tarp, and inside you see what looks to be each blade has its own scabbard, but it looks to be hundreds of blades on the left side, each of them varying sizes of long and short sword. Laying on top of them, almost as if to stop rain from leaking through on them, is plenty of leather-covered shields, mostly made of wood and lined with metal to add more supportive power. And on the right side, you see a far smaller but still quantifiable near 100, uh, what looks to be long rifles. You know what rifles are. You haven't really used them very much yourself. Mostly they're used on ships for their extreme range and somewhat fire faster rate than a bow and arrow. But yeah, you see several muskets laying there as well.
So, so I was just like gonna look at one of the muskets, kind of like in the he sees the craftsmanship and the. No, he doesn't really see the function in it, as he had heard of them, but he doesn't know how they work fully. He kind of like just glances at it and just like shakes his head as he kind of like doesn't want to grab one for himself. He kind of like gets out of the wagon and then get back on his horse to just continue going on.
At as you look over the craftsmanship before you hop back on your horse, you recognize that they are all almost precisely the same, down to the inch. You recognize that both the blades, shields, and rifles were all likely mass produced in some manner. Like, so precisely even that they don't have even a slight bit of flare or a slightly crooked edge or something like that. They are all nearly exactly the same. The shields are the closest thing to alterations you can find. You hop back on your horse, though.
Yeah, and Zal will kind of just like ponder that for a second. It's like thinking like, how did they do that much? There's no altercations. That's so good. And then continue walking. That's it.
All right. Anything else you would like to do? Any people you would like to annoy on this several-day journey back, as you spent your first 10 days on the road walking here and immediately spin back around to take the same exact road for another 10 days?
No, I think I've annoyed enough people for today.
All right. Your caravan carries on unhindered. That is for the next 8 days or so. I would like whoever's keeping watch on the way back to go ahead and roll some perception checks. Like, two of
I'm
you
in the
are one
front.
advantage, is what I mean.
Alright. I shall roll. You rolling your own?
Oh Lord, that is so hard, Lord.
What? Eden, are you rolling or no?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and roll.
Okay.
I'm in the main back, so if I were to roll, that'd be kind of.
Wait, am I rolling with advantage?
No.
No, I rolled
Okay.
by myself.
Nat
Do you
one.
think I'd get executed if I turned into a werewolf and started killing everyone?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Zal
Okay,
did,
so
and he killed everyone.
Well, to be fair, we also covered it up.
That's true.
So I got a 16, Kotaro got a natural 1.
With a 16, you are perceptive, reasonably. Most people trying to hide would have trouble hiding from that eye, but anyone skilled wouldn't. But nothing in particular is trying to hide from you. The thing you notice in the distance, about 4 days out from your destination of the Syros Mountains, the entrance path at least, you see heavy smoke in the sky from a fire. This is either a large bonfire or something else, because what else really would it be? You noticed a few houses on the road, and you're coming up on one. The house could be on fire. And as you approach your caravan leader kind of picking up the pace to make sure that if there is danger, your caravan will actually be there to aid. You, after the next 5 minutes of travel or so, are close enough to recognize that this house is in fact on fire, heavily. Half of it is, like, the half of the wall is extremely on fire, but the rest of it seems relatively fine. It is burning heavily, and the fire is spreading, uh, probably from a lantern that was smashed or fell and leaked out against the side of the house. And you see at the moment what looks to be several figures running around outside. One ferrying buckets, splashing it against the wall to really no effect. And what looks to be a woman crying out, shouting into the building. As soon as this is seen, several of your shore wardens quickly hop off their caravans or untie a horse and begin to ride towards it. About half, if not a little more than half of your contingent quickly rides away to try and save this building and see if anyone's inside, including the captain of the bunch. They all pretty much immediately sprint off without asking each other about anything. The half that were going immediately knew they were going and just told the nearest person to stay in their stead. You guys, are you going to go and try and save his family and rescue the burning building, or are you going to stay with the caravan?
I'm staying with the caravan.
I'm rescuing him.
What about you, Zell?
Zal was about to send his horse to go start going towards it, but then he sees Orion running past him. He's like, "Okay, I'll keep watch then."
All right. Zal and Kotaro staying next to the caravan. Orion, you charge your way up towards this building, several horses thundering past you from the nearby shore wardens having taken from the caravan. You see now in more detail what looks to be a slightly late middle-aged man ferrying buckets of water, now joined by several shore wardens, each trying to put out or at least delay the fire from spreading. Some even ducking their heads inside to toss fire on the inside, hoping to save a room or some belongings on the inside. One of the shore wardens quickly talks to the woman that is shouting in distress, which you see to be a slightly older woman, probably even older than the man. Probably long past childbearing age, but she, as you approach, is screaming about a kid inside in the top left or top right of the building, saying that more than likely screaming more or less, that the fire has likely blocked the route. The only way out is either for him to jump from the window or someone goes in there and saves him. And she's shouting at the kid to jump out of the window, more or less.
Okay. Do I think the kid is going to jump out the window?
At the moment, there is no kid visible, at all.
Okay. I'm going to, as soon as he hears kid, he just runs in.
Okay. You charge in, pushing past several Zalezo who duck back out to gather more water. You see on the inside of this building, the ceiling is covered with smoke, and it does waft down to cover your mouth slightly. You crouch walk so you can breathe the last remaining somewhat clean air inside this part of the building. As you pass the first doorway, you see the kitchen, raging inferno, and the heat from that enclosed fire nearly burns you just from walking past it. You look to the right and see the living room, relatively unharmed at the moment, and a few child's toys still scattered about. This isn't a kid, this is a almost baby, likely toddler age. You look at the staircase, see fire rolling up it, and know that you have to hurry because the building will collapse behind you if you're not fast. Charging up the staircase, I would like you to make a constitution check, trying to resist the draw of the fire during this little escapade of yours.
Firefighters!
Yeah. he just immediately runs into a literal burning building.
I made a 15.
15. You are resilient more than a lot of people, but fire will eventually get to you. You're worried about how close you're coming to being lost in a coughing fit in this fire, which could prove fatal. You charge up the staircase, though, disregarding that, the smoke being even thicker here as the smoke wafts upwards quickly. This entire part of the building is covered in smoke. There isn't any real air pockets to breathe, so you attempt to hold your breath, trying not to die of smoke inhalation just from being here. You charge down the hallway, looking left to see a adult's room slightly on fire, the burnt floor burning in and collapsing slightly behind you. You look to the right and see yet another child's room, this one entirely unharmed, but there is a child right now under the covers. You see shivering in fear, not moving, just having his head ducked under the covers, and it's the size of a child. That's the only thing you see, and you can hear over the roaring flames, you can hear quiet sobs just barely reaching your ears.
How tall is this building?
The building, like, to the roof of this room, you mean?
Yeah, like how tall, how tall is the second floor?
Oh, to jump out of the building?
Yeah.
The second floor is no more than 15 foot in the air. Like, you jump out that window, you're probably taking a solid 10-foot fall. But for a child, or even anyone who doesn't know how to fall properly, that could prove fatal.
Heard. So, he's going to... He's going to run to the kid.
Okay. You run to the child's bed, seeing the shivering form now more clearly outlined in the covers.
I'm going to cast Featherfall.
That is not how that spell works. That's a reaction while they're falling. You can cast it while they're falling. You don't just cast it ahead of time.
One creature's rarity. So wait, so you can't cast it beforehand?
No, you have to wait on them to be mid-fall and then catch them with the spell.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Could I can do it to myself, correct?
You can. You can, like, if you leap out the window, you can use your reaction to catch yourself, and you won't take any fall damage from it.
I'm gonna pick up the kid, run, jump out the window, and cast Featherfall's reaction.
All right. You wrestle the kid out of the bed. He instinctively tries to fight you for a moment, but then looks at you, all soot covered, and light burns on your skin flaring red in places. You charge, jumping out of the window, muttering a quiet enchantment as you fall. The fall mitigated heavily as the magic slows you and makes your feet land lightly against the ground.
Can I explain what it looks like?
Yeah.
So he picks up the kid and he jumps out the window, and as he's jumping out the window, some fog, cloud comes like spewing from his body, looking like it's.
Chase, you good?
Uh-oh, Chase died.
Chase be like middle of sentence lags out.
Why? Oh, there it
Wait.
is.
Did any of you hear me?
No.
No.
We heard you say there was a fog cloud coming out of somewhere, but then you just
So-
like got lost.
Because someone was calling me, I didn't see. A fog cloud like erupts from my armor, forms a platform, and essentially jump out of the window, land onto the platform, and it safely puts us on the ground.
Mm-hmm. And as you land, the kid is like at this point, obviously fully crying. His face is covered in tears and covered in smoke, and he like goes into a heavy coughing fit. Just being in the building that long has probably caused severe damage, even if the kid was panicked too much to recognize it. And you even.
What?
You and the kid both are.
What?
Who are you saying what to?
Trent.
What are you doing, Chase? What's going on with you, man?
His phone dying. Oh, I think he just stopped hearing us for a second.
Probably. Because he just went, what? Trent? Let's see if he'll rejoin.
He joined.
Oh, is he back already? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you guys like. I don't know what happened. Everything was super laggy. What was you saying?
You and the kid both kind of go in a slight coughing fit. You're more resilient than the kid, having trained your body and having extremely persistent disease that just kind of refuses to let you die that easily. The kid, however, without clerical assistance sometime soon, he would be lucky to not have some like black lung affecting him for the rest of his life. And to this note, the kid is at this point coughing violently and like hugging his probably grandma, if not mom's, leg tightly, trying more or less to calm his lungs, both sobbing and coughing violently though. You're both covered in soot and red skinned because of the burns. That was an interesting adventure. Make a perception check.
Want to check in? Let me check my perception.
Me and Kotaro are just fucking dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're both flying corpses now. Sorry. Y'all should have ran for the baby. I don't know what to tell you.
For not running to help the baby, God spontaneously combusts us.
Yeah. I break the time continuum and just say gods came in earlier just to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Ryan, what's your perception
I
check?
said 10, homie.
Oh, I didn't hear you. 10. That's not super good, so it takes you a moment to calm your breathing and take a look around at the surroundings of Lezo to eventually let your eyes wander back to the caravan, which you now see in the midst of battle, and several carts on fire. Kotaro, Zhao. During this time, where Orion charges away, that persistent 16 perception check is what you're relying on to keep you safe. And it does for the most part. No one jumps out and attacks you, or either of you in particular. Someone does happen to jump out, though, as soon as Orion runs off and the people start engaging the fire. A man wearing a shadowy cloak, and the only thing you see is a blade, long, curved scimitar with a bright green, almost neon edge. And in the other arm, a slight greenish glow protruding through the sleeve that is heavily too long. You see this man charge out, and he gets there before you can react. The 16 doesn't protect you. He basically has a surprise round. Busting out of the nearby foliage, charging at one of your Zalezo, stabbing him in the chest, immediately killing him. That Zalezo just falls down. And you see the most panicked look you could ever see on a man's face form in the instant before his death. You also near immediately see him toss a firebolt with his other hand, and most people obviously couldn't cast with this speed. He ran out, stabbed a man in the chest, and then so quickly tossed a firebolt into one of the carriages, and specifically one of the cloth coverings the carriages are using, and immediately ignited a flame. This is a highly skilled arcane user and likely a highly skilled blade user to so easily crush a Zalezo, or not Zalezo, a Shore Warden guard. Now I'm going to open up the screen so you guys can see the battle map that I've been making here.
Let's go.
This guy's by himself, correct?
He is.
Just by himself.
Yeah, he's great by himself. He's fine.
That's not good.
Can I roll a D100 for perception?
He ran up and immediately killed this man right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mark him as dead.
By my astute observations,
Wacky looking caravan right here, but it's the best I can do because I don't really have a caravan. I don't have a wagon, so I made my own wagon and had to put it diagonal like this. It's kind of wacky looking, but it's there. I should have forgot to add your characters. Don't worry about it.
it's fine.
Earlier?
Poor planning.
At the front of the caravan, this guy's probably back here if you're up there. Where's your wizard at? Right here. I just use that as your
It's
wizard.
been so, like, it's honestly, we don't ever play with wizards, so this is like I don't know.
I have no idea what you just said.
I said, where we never play with wizards, this is such a...
Never play with swords?
Wizards.
Oh, I'm about to say, I'm like, what are you talking about? And you guys see that this man has rushed out, stabbed a man in the chest, and quickly ignited the caravan, not the caravan, and quickly ignited the wagon next to him. That is his surprise round, so now I need you all to roll some initiative. Specifically, I want Zal and Code Road roll initiative. Orion, you are going to arrive at initiative count 20 3 rounds later.
Natural 20.
Alright.
Baby, let's go. First natural 20.
Well, this Lezo got a natural 1, so that's not good for you guys.
What do you mean not good for you guys?
Oh, and the enemy also got a natural 2, so, I mean... You're probably going for everybody, just saying.
Oh, Zalezos.
Oh,
I thought you
didn't mean
said...
Zalezo, I meant Shore Warden.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, they're the same thing. They're both menagerie workers, you know. Zalezo are just the town guards, which I keep mixing up with the...
They're but petty fools.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
Zalezo are but petty fools, 100%. 25 to 20 on the initiative count.
They haven't rolled yet.
Oh. Well, what's yours then, Zal? Just tell me yours.
Natural 20.
Okay, so Zal's on the top anyway. 8 10. Roll your initiative.
Oh, are they here?
I'm back.
Oh.
You need to roll initiative. You're being attacked.
Yeah, we are being attacked.
Hey, where are you streaming this at?
I have no clue what you just said.
Where are you streaming this?
I am not streaming. I can't. My what's it called? OBS is saying that I don't have the drivers for it again, which I already fixed once. So the only way that I can do it is on Discord. Right now.
I'm back, homie.
Roll initiative.
Can you not use Discord for some reason?
No, I had to go outside and get some stuff.
That's not.
I like every time I try to watch the stream, like my phone just crashes.
Wonderful. You don't have like a phone or something you could open up? Not a phone, Xbox or something you could open up?
I'm gonna try to do it on my computer.
That works as well. Because I know they're far more stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into freaking figuring out what the whole issue is with my OBS saying your video drivers aren't up to date, so because it's kind of
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah. I was just gonna watch the stream and tell you where to put me from there, but
Yeah, I don't know why it does that though. Like literally, it did that where I couldn't record nor live stream like a week or two back when we recorded not the last session but the session before last of the other campaign. And now it's saying I can't stream, but I can record fine, which is weird. Because it should be the same thing.
Chase, have you rolled initiative yet?
Not yet. Give me a second.
Okay, Kotaro, I think you rolled a 14 because for some reason you rolled twice.
oh, I already rolled initiative. Whoops. Yeah, let's go with the first one, guys.
I mean, I saw it would work anyway, so yeah.
So what's your
You
initiative?
suck. 14.
14. Okay.
I got a 9.
Okay. So after Kotaro, it goes down to Orion. After Orion, it goes down to Shadow Enemy. I mean, you don't know who it is yet, so I can't tell you.
I
Whoa,
don't know who
go
it is,
ahead.
but I have a good suspicion.
Who's your good suspicion, man?
It's a fucking Volstrucker.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but you don't know who it is.
I mean, yeah, but like, you know.
But who? There's so many Volstrucker and all that.
Hey,
You
you guys
this-
can still hear me, right?
do it.
Yeah,
I
we can hear you.
You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
No,
And
I don't
Sean,
like
you
hearing
make
you.
it sound like you're echoing. You really do make it sound like you're echoing, and you're not. You're just saying it exactly the same 2 times in a row.
Yeah. I'm echoing just like, good.
You're echoing yourself,
Yes.
but you are also the first to react. So, what are you doing? Is this man wearing a shadowy cloak covering most of his body? Only green flash is visible. Charges
How
out
far
and
away is
stabs
he?
your Zillozo.
How far away is he from me?
At the moment, he is. If you wanted to get in melee, you'd have to like run crisscrossing across the wagons. If you want to get in melee, it'd be 40 foot minimum, pretty much.
I have a horse.
Yeah, you are on a horse yourself, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna
find a better route for you.
like, okay, so I want to basically just drive my horse, but like, are there gonna be like a 10 feet gap? Zal's just like gonna jump off the horse. Would that be enough
Just
to
have
get
it
me 10
dash.
feet? Well, no, because I don't want it to be hit. Is the thing, Trent.
Oh yeah, you can jump off the horse at the last moment, getting a small gap so that the horse is 5 foot behind you and you're in between the enemy and the horse.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
And I'm going to look at him, and he's obviously disfigured. Stuff I'm seeing. He's wearing a hoodie. He's by himself. Zal's just gonna, his eyes are widened as a scenario pops in his head again, and then just goes into a rage.
As your eyes widen and you do gain closeness to this figure, and you go into this rage, and the heightened sense of understanding about the world and knowing senses coming in more vibrantly. Make a perception check while you approach this person to see if you can recognize who they are.
24.
That's pretty good. With a 24.
What are you? Wait, we didn't go to level 3, did we?
No.
No.
Oh.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay. But with a 24, your perception's pretty nice. As you charge forward and this heightened sense of being comes over you when you enter this rage, you immediately recognize this person. Not someone you necessarily have fought in the past, but someone you believed you were fighting in the past. Or about to, at least. As you charge at the man, he is almost forced back a step which straightens him straight on with you. His cloak immediately falls back slightly, which he adjusts quick enough that most others in the distance couldn't see, but you can easily catch who it is. The dark skin covered with maze tattoos circling around his forehead, green pulsing veins still coming out one side of his neck. You see in his left hand, the crystal, a large green crystal, is just slightly shown through a small gap, like a small hole, in his sleeve. In the other hand, you see in that same hand, you see the extremely frail arms, also with weird wrapping, almost neon-colored vines of veins crawling all the way up to his neck. The blade itself, wielded with a unnaturally strong arm. As you look at him, you recognize this to be the same captain of the ship you guys had lost earlier as he had teleported away. Same
Okay,
dude.
so
Did
same
he use
captain.
Dimension
Same,
Door?
I have no clue what
Probably
y'all
did.
ask, but he likely has Dimension Door. If he's a spellcaster that's any safe at all.
Zal gets a vision where he sees multiple people using dimension. He's never met these people. He's immediately enraged. He's going to just smack him across the face.
Yeah, trying to stop him from escaping all these multitude of times again from other lives.
That was so close to being a natural 20, but 25 trip.
25. All right.
Actually, that would be a 26 because I forget I have a +7 to hit with this weapon.
All right, you're good.
don't
To
matter.
hit, that's good. He ain't gonna be able to dodge that.
He can dodge it. Don't worry about it.
I mean, maybe.
I'll let him
Actually-
dodge it. No.
I do have to do some math real quick because I forgot to do this earlier. Give me a second.
I mean, unless he can pass a 26 AC, I don't think he can.
Yeah, he does. He casts Reaction Shield. That brings him to 27.
Fuck you.
So he casts Shield. Your large hammer smacking at him, but as he reverses in that same motion, your hammer coming in a large overhead, he squeezes his crystal tightly, the large green one in his left hand, and it diminishes considerably, but several shards shoot out around him. Several
This
becoming sharp
motherfucker-
points, the others becoming flat disc, and those flat discs smack against your hammer repeatedly. You shatter several, but it's enough to delay the blow where he can dodge.
This motherfucker got fucking 22 base AC. What the fuck?
Something you recognize is while he is fighting, or even just while he is moving, every step he takes, he is humming a beat while he fights.
Blade Singer.
You
Fucking
you recognize he is more than likely a fighting style created in the Empire to make elves all the more dangerous, or use elvish tactics at least. A blade.
Okay.
Totoro, show me this guy's balls.
Wait. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second, guys. Ethan, you remember that character I made? The Fade character?
I got you.
Wait, Ethan.
Yeah, the multiple personality one.
Wait, yeah, but you remember how he had a weak arm, a strong arm, he had a bunch of green veins on him with black eyes. He was a blade wizard that uses a scimitar.
Hey yo, did I just make
Yeah.
the same character as you did, but for a
Yeah,
villain?
you did. I'm not even kidding, dude. I thought you stole that from me or something. Because
I just made
Ethan,
a
is that
villain
not
you?
that is the exact same character.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, apparently. Well, that's epic, but Zal, it's still your turn. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's your only strike in your bonus action. I forgot you're
Yeah,
not fifth
I mean-
level yet.
Yeah, I don't have my 2 hand axes yet.
Chill. Either way, after that defeat of your blow, Kodoro is the next quickest to react. Seeing Zal charge forward, jumping off his horse in a massive overhead swing, which several green shards come and deflect for the man. What are you doing?
Am I the fellow on the left?
You are the one wearing the red, yeah. This guy right here.
Okay. And where's the bad boy?
Bad boy's down here, covering his head with a weird, definitely not the same texture as this, but covering his features for the most part. That's why I used it.
Okay. I want you to. How far can you move with a horse?
They have 30 movement speed, but you can make them dash for free, more or less. It takes half your movement speed to unmount, so if you decide to get off the horse at any point, then you're going to have to use half your movement.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is move me 1 square to the left.
All right.
Okay, now move me 60 feet down.
Okay.
Wait, Ethan, what kind of horse do you have? Do you know?
A riding horse.
They move 60 foot.
They have a movement speed of 60?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Wait,
I mean, same as Bat, really.
Move me back to the 50 or 45.
The 45 mark or 50 mark? Which one you want?
45.
45? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you are, if you want a ranged attack to go through, 25 foot away. If you want to get in melee, 20 foot away. What are you doing as Zal is fist fighting this man?
Can you get me within 15 feet of him?
Pretty easily, yeah, because you still had 15 foot of movement, so with your horse. I think that's 15 foot. Yeah, it is.
Okay, I wanna cast burning hands on this guy.
Alright, that's a cone, correct?
LOL.
I'm assuming that's a yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this whole cone situation the best I can for you. I don't think there's a cone
Oh.
that
Okay.
can get around. I'll look a little bit more, but I don't think there's a cone that can get around him without hitting Zal, that is.
Alright.
Yeah, no. You'd have to get at least slightly closer or like move to the bottom a little bit. I think if you move down, you could probably do it, but no promises.
I'll do that then.
Okay, I'm going to move you slightly closer here. Any more movement than this, and you'll have to get off your horse. That's the one
Okay.
huge draw side. Okay, yeah. You moved slightly closer, and now you are within 15 foot. You can fire, or you can burning hands without hurting anyone else.
Okay. He has to make a dex throw.
All right, he has advantage on those while blade singing.
If I ever play Wizard, I'm playing Blade Singing Wizard, dude.
18, which passes.
Yes.
Blade Singing is one of the best classes because of the extremely high, or subclasses, because of the extremely high AC. The problem is that their subclass doesn't give them any benefits to casting. Like, any spells above cantrips, that is.
Still takes half damage, though.
Yeah, he still takes half damage.
Okay, so he takes. What's 15 halved? Would that be 7?
Yeah, 7.
Okay, 7 damage.
I'm going to have to get my calculator.
That's awful.
Okay, 7 damage. Put down.
Okay. And, I think that's it for me.
All right. That's the first. That's one round. Remember how many rounds have passed. Orion, that's one round. You have to get 2 more rounds to pass before you can actually encounter this enemy.
Wait, why?
Because you're so far away.
Where am I at?
Up at the building after saving the baby. Remember?
Zoom out. I don't know where that's at.
I don't have it on the map. It's not.
Homie.
Okay. Why would I put it on the map? It ain't important to the encounter. I didn't
Well,
expect
so
any of
I'm
y'all to run off, but you did. So you were running closer, slowly
wow. The
making your way.
paladin saved a child. What?
Dude, I didn't expect it, to be honest. I've not had a group of people care about any children ever in my games.
BL
I mean,
does.
I
okay, to
never saved one.
okay, okay. To be fair, I think Trent probably expected me out of out of everyone
That is
to
also
do
true.
that.
If I
Okay.
was expecting someone, it would have been Sean.
Uh,
That's one round.
bonus action, turn into a werewolf. Action.
Dash,
Uh,
more than likely.
nope. Action. I'm going to use my pearl of power to regain that spell slot I used, and then I'm going to use my 40 feet of movement to run.
Okay, fair enough. One round down. The enemy, at this point, looks both at Zal and Kotaro, and his head cocks in recognition slightly, and Kotaro and Zal both kind of get a almost a definitely intimidating, but kind of sickening smile as well as he draws his blade, like hit the bloodied blade across his leg to wipe the blood away. He smiles at you guys, which is
Boy trying to riz me up.
kind of strange. But then he
Sin.
goes then he goes into his blade singing dance anyway. He starts swinging his sword at a rapid pace, and this sword almost becomes immaterial at moments in this swing. Blocks you try and use are nearly forfeit, as he goes past them. His blade passes through the Warhammer's metal head, or will attempt to almost bypass a blocking arm trying to turn it aside. It will roll with advantage using its Shadow Strike ability.
Using.
Using its Shadow Strike ability. 21 to hit on the first strike, Zal.
Duh.
And the second strike,
Duh.
still using the Shadow Strike because it's for a full round. 21 again. I rolled the exact same dice twice.
Kill self.
What dice do they use? It's D8s. Uh, 22 damage as he carves into you 2 times in quick succession.
Halved.
Uh, let me see. That is half. Yes, 22 goes back down to 11.
Okay.
And I want you to make a Wisdom and Constitution save.
Bro,
Alright.
what?
This is a Volstrucker, you guys. It's going to be a hard fight if you can win.
There's 11 and 12 succeed, Trent. I doubt it does.
No. And you recognize that extreme fear that entered the Shore Warden's face as he was stabbed and immediately killed. His face flashed with the most terrified expression you've ever seen. Most men couldn't even manage that with how mortally wounded he was. And you understand why immediately. He is using an Abyssal Blade. What that means is that through the cuts that you get, you feel your life force leaking into the blade. The blood almost beads on the edge as your life force, the very thing that keeps you alive and your very soul and essence, begins to fall into the abyss. You understand that if you die by this blade, you are likely to become a slave of some of the powerful abyssal demons that just wander that plane, as your soul will forever be trapped in the abyss. One of the most horrid planes you could be on. So, unlucky Shore Warden,
this guy's
man.
ball.
Unlucky Shore Warden. He just happened to go to the abyss randomly, you know?
Well, goodbye, Zal. We know where this is going.
You're not dead, but you are extremely frightened, and immediately run 15 foot backwards using your reaction, and have the fear status effect placed upon you. The Constitution save is for the poison that digs into you as well, that is coating the blade.
Okay. Chances are I'm fucking
Mixing
down
with his
immediately.
poison, you do see a slightly purplish tinge coming into the blood that is beating at the moment. And surprisingly enough, nothing really happens. Other than you feel more inaccurate and stumbly. You're fine.
Epic.
You're fine, but you are poisoned.
So I have disadvantage either fucking way. Fuck you.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Both ways. So even if you get one off, it'll be hard to get the other off.
Nice.
The shore wardens then react. They quickly charge at the enemy, bravely, as much as they can be. They even sometimes double dash to get there. This guy didn't have to, that guy had to. Nope, can't reach. Is unluckily stuck there. He's going to stand on the corpse of his fellow, just because he kind of knows he has to in this scenario. So 1, 2, 3. 3 get to attack. I'm just going to roll it all from one guy, though, because I'm not going to try and do that. 2, 3. None of those hit. All the spears flash out. A longsword even flashes out. But he is deft. And so agile, you cannot expect it. He quickly...
None get advantage.
Do what?
None get advantage.
Oh, one does get
Are they not
advantage,
flanking?
but... Nope, still misses.
Yep.
Because that's a 19 and not a natural 20 on his part. He is extremely deft. He is so agile that he ducks and dodges and blocks with his single scimitar at such awkward angles that there's literally no way that one of these guys are going to get a blade through. It would be extremely difficult for someone of their skill level to even scratch a man like this. And it doesn't help that swirling green crystals are constantly peppering attacks with deflecting strikes as well as launching out at the enemies. Zal, you're slightly lucky to recognize that if you stay within his space at this point, you're more than likely going to be assaulted by the green crystals shards that he has floating around him. So, you might not want to take damage from that as well.
Hey, you don't fucking want, okay?
Zal, back to you, my man.
Yep, I'm 15 feet away.
Extremely shaken and more clumsy than you used to be.
Yep, so what I'm gonna fucking do is I'm going to, kill myself. So what's gonna happen is, since I can't do really anything else, and I don't want to go in front no more, I'm just gonna pick out some of my javelins, and I'm just gonna fucking eat them at him. And I'm recklessing in each every one of them.
Can you reckless ranged attacks?
Probably. Let me check.
I'm gonna look that up. Can
I
you
don't think
reckless
it says
ranged
you
attacks
can't.
as a barbarian D&D
I
5e?
don't think it says you can't, but it wouldn't make sense.
Oh, no, it has to be melee weapon.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
guys,
Sean,
Well,
don't worry. I'll give you
could use one of
advantage
those
in
melee
spirit.
weapons that fell back to your hand at the end of your turn, and you could just continuously chuck it.
I don't have that.
I know you don't have them. I'm just saying if you did.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna. Well, no, I can't. Okay, you know what? Screw you, Trent. I'm just gonna bonus action, drink a potion, and kill myself.
Hey, bonus action, cyanide pill. What was your attacks? I'm assuming they missed.
No, I haven't attacked.
Oh, I thought you were just like grunting in anger
Bro,
at your
no.
attacks.
7 HP, guys. I'm totally not gonna die. Do I not make a wisdom save, or is that the end of my turn?
At the end of your turn, yeah, you do.
I might as well After I drink the potion, I'm just going to once again just throw the javelin because why not? At least I have a chance to hit. Nope, miss.
Yoink! So, you miss.
Yeah, I miss, and I make a wisdom save. Yes.
At the end of your turn, you make a wisdom save.
What do you do? I fail. I'm still frightened.
Alright, great. At the end of Zal's turn, Kotaro, you see him immediately back off and become clumsy. His javelins coming nowhere near the man. What are you doing in response to seeing your man so easily flee?
Okay, what would it put him in like half cover if I were to move 60 feet direction or 60 feet away from him?
Who? The enemy?
From the bad boy. Literally,
Uh,
I just want to move 60 feet left.
Okay, I'll move you 60 foot left. Oh, I did that wrong. There we go. He doesn't get cover because it's only your allies that are blocking him, and allies do not provide cover to enemies.
Okay. I'm just gonna cast magic missile at him.
Alright, you cast a magic missile. Go on ahead.
Well, I don't make a spell attack for that. Never mind. I'm
Nope.
stupid.
You just,
Literally, the one spell you don't make a spell attack
what
with.
level are you casting it? Just first?
Yes.
3d4 plus 3.
11 damage.
11 damage. Add that on. Trying to think. Okay, yeah. That's calculated correctly. 11 damage. It stings him, but not much. He seems to be rolling with the hits and continuing his dance of both death and defense without stopping or being hindered in any way. Orion, round 2 passes. You are still in werewolf form.
Where am I at?
You are probably at this point about 60 foot from the actual battle, meaning you're pretty close to actual Kotaro, but unless you have a way to actually be beneficial at that range, I don't know what you're going to do.
Where's Kotaro at?
Kotaro is this little red guy right here.
Is he right beside me?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You are really close, but there's not much you can do at this range, whereas he is still effective.
Bro.
70
Don't
foot
you have like
from
a bow or something?
What do you say?
Don't you have like a bow or arrow or something?
No.
It's a paladin.
Oh.
Paladin smite, you know. Bone arrow can't smite.
I'm going to. You said I'm 40 feet away?
70 foot if you want a ranged attack, and 65 if you want
I'm gonna-
to melee.
I'm going to run 40 feet, which is my full movement, to where. Is that 40 feet?
Yeah, he's 30 foot ranged and 25 melee.
How far away is Zal?
Zal is ranged wise 20 foot away. If you want to get melee, he's 15.
Okay. And the dude, how far is he away?
30 ranged, 25 for melee.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to use command on him.
Okay. What does he have to do to try and resist that?
I gotta double check. Target a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Wisdom saving throw.
Stupid wizard! Not so wise and mystical now.
I'm thinking about it. This is the first level, right? Yeah, he doesn't
No,
care. He doesn't wanna. He doesn't wanna feel it. He doesn't want to be powerless even for a split second, which he still knows he can win in. He's going to counterspell you. Actually, is he in range? Yep, he's going to counterspell you.
Nerd.
He counterspells using his reaction to do so.
Hey Chase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna warn you. Anytime you're fighting a wizard, avoid wisdom and intelligence throws.
Yeah, they're real high. And dexterity if they're built for AC, which this guy obviously is.
Yeah.
So you know he's dexterous, and you know he is likely intelligent. Not so sure about the whole wisdom thing, but they do have some proficiencies in it.
Yeah, that's one of the 2 saves they have proficiency in.
And back to the man who is dancing in front of a bunch of blades at the moment. He is more or less looking around, and he's almost smiling. And he is going to spend his next 3rd level spell slot to throw a fireball at his feet. I think that's 5d8? Or is it 8d6? I can't remember.
What?
Fireball, which he throws at his
I think
feet.
that's 86.
I will look because I'm not sure. It is 8d6
8d6.
in a 20-foot radius. So 40 foot, basically 20 foot either side, 40 foot centered, or 40 foot total. This is a radius centered on the sky here. His
Not the horse.
9, 10, 15. So yeah, he doesn't hit anyone but the Zalezo, but he does not Zalezo. Stop saying Zalezo.
Sure, Warden.
Yeah, he doesn't hit anything but Shore Warden, which is unlucky enough for him. I had to move that guy, so I forgot to. 8d6, so let me just roll until I get above their HP max. Well, that's garbage. 2 for the first 2 rolls. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.
So they all just
7, 8, 9,
evaporate.
10, 11, 12. Yep, they all die. Because the 11's their max.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy's gonna hit himself too, because he literally just centered it on.
he centers it on himself. Everyone around him dies, but he burns as well. And he burns for 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 damage in total. But he has to make a dex save to his own thing. He passes, so 18.5 to 9. So he takes 9 damage. I don't think it doesn't matter at that point. Even if they half it, does Lezo still die? I think. Let me count. No, technically not. Technically not. Do some calculation. Fail. These two are dead. Fail. That guy's dead.
So they just die.
Yep, every one of them are gonna die. Yep, every single one of them failed that. His DC is too high for him. They're too weak of creatures.
Yep.
So each and every Shore Warden that is here immediately dies in that fireball, and he almost floats in the air with it, absorbing the blast mostly with his cloak. He also kills all of your horses here. Not all of your horses, but he kills 2 of the horses run by the caravan, and the horse that Zal has just purchased for 75 gold pieces.
Which I kind of forgot to do that on my turn anyway, because I didn't expect the horse to be on my turn. I expected the horse to run away instead of just sit there like a retard.
I mean, it's on your turn. You gotta control it, man. It's your mount.
Seeing a fireball being seeing a fight going on, I don't think a horse would send like within 10 feet of the attacker.
I don't know what to tell
Unless
you,
it was like
man.
super trusting horse. Okay.
It's your responsibility to control your mount. But either way, all of these guys immediately collapse and die in front of you. And at this point, the Shore Warden that are still charging towards him kind of stutter step for a second. And more think about joining the people up on the hill, far away from conflict, as they're slower than you, still running down the hill. But they're kind of thinking about running away, as well as the people charging down the hill are thinking about running away as well. Not wanting to mess with a man of this skill level, it seems.
Cowards.
Yeah, these short warden are going to make some wisdom saves, and if not, they're going to flee, because they just saw a bunch of the people of equal skill level immediately die. Wow! They actually got really high saves. That is stupid.
Let's go.
Damn. Oh, that's so garbage, dude. Why do you have to fail on your freaking deck saves? But like, yeah, I'm a charge it and die. I'm good with this. These guys are so brave that they're stupid. They are willing to charge in and die for their country uselessly, but they're not good enough to duck a fireball.
Zhao has flashbacks immediately.
This guy is the only one that gets an attack, and he stabs.
Missing immediately.
No, I didn't hit it right, I don't think. Either way, yeah, missing immediately. It doesn't do anything. That's all the wardens can do. There's none left. Zhao, back to you. Trembling in fear, seeing half of your caravan get wiped out in one fireball, as well as many of the horses, that will make your trip far more difficult now. What are you doing?
I throw rocks at him and laugh at him.
Yo!
So, I'm not gonna fucking pass that wisdom saving throw. But I'm gonna get myself killed. Screw it. I need to do something. Yeah, I'm gonna miss. Luck is not on our side today.
I mean, this guy during this entire conflict's grinning. That just makes it all the worse. He's actively smiling, likely enjoying himself. The good news, however, is that the souls of all of those killed by the fireball do not go to the abyss. That's an upside.
And this guy's like hardly at all damaged.
I mean, yeah, he isn't showing much wear and tear. He seems to still be laughing at you guys, more or less.
I have the frightened effect. I can't even move willingly towards him anyway, so I'm just going to throw another javelin.
Yep. It's pretty much all you can do. You're really good at javelin, man, right now.
I'm assuming a 22 misses.
22 does graze, necessarily, but let me see.
Okay.
Well, actually, give me a second. I have to roll something else to check and see if it does hit. I have to look up an ability.
Well, I rolled with disadvantage anyway, so it's 17 misses.
Oh, yeah. Well, then that is true. I don't have to look up the ability anymore.
You need to go kill yourself. That's what you need to fucking do.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You're fighting a Celesso. Obviously, it's going to be extremely difficult for no
We're fighting
reason.
Celesso? He's attacking our own guard?
Not a Celesso. You know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
Volstrucker.
Not too
here's the
late.
thing.
Change stat
What-
block. Change stat block.
Oh, man. He dies to his own fireball.
21. Okay, I succeed the wisdom save at least.
Yes, you do succeed the wisdom save.
At least I
what
hope
made
so.
you think we could take on a Volk
A 17th
structure?
level.
I didn't think
a
you could
17th
take
level.
on a Volstrucker. I'm thinking,
Huh?
I want to see if you can survive the Volstrucker. You're not going to win. I don't think. You can't kill him. He will escape. Almost guaranteed.
Not with these rolls.
Kotaro, back to you. At this moment, everyone is dead pretty much around you guys. There's only you guys left. How are you going to respond? Are you going to join the fleeing parties? Or are you going to keep fighting?
to, bro.
I mean...
Okay. I am going to cast
Expeditious retreat, maybe.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
What's the range on that, real quick?
Actually, I don't know. Never mind. No, I'm stupid. Yeah, just magic missile him.
Okay, magic
Cast
missile.
Tasha's hideous laughter on Sean, so he can die at least with a smile on his face.
Yeah, baby. Okay, magic missile. What damage you do?
10 damage.
All right. He does grimace every time the damage is dealt, like slightly, but it never hampers his smile.
No, let's just be honest here. These attacks are just fiddling with his nuts. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, you're tickling him real quick. That's what's happening right now. He doesn't seem to be worried at all.
He's
Okay,
grateful
Ryan.
because he's sick
Yeah.
in the head.
Orion, what are you doing, man? You want to charge in there valiantly? Stand
I'm
over
about
the
to trade
dead
that.
corpse
I'm
of...
about to trade that kid's life to get out of here, dude.
I'll give you his life.
Let me think.
Hey, bro,
What would a real pimp do in this real pimp moment?
just saying, if you come over here and get on this horse, we can let Zal be bait.
So, it's so bad. I mean, yeah, you could, though. You could, really.
Nah, bro. Okay, Zal, you go up and steal one of those horses above you and get out of here, okay?
I was thinking of just stealing a cart.
Wait. I have an idea. How far am I from Zal?
He is a total of... If you want to get melee, 15, range, 20.
Okay. Have an idea. Where's the dude at?
He's in the middle of all these corpses, so...
Is
25
so
melee, 30 range.
what is the effects? Like, what is the status effects on Zal?
Poisoned, and
That's it.
poisoned, because he got rid of the other one.
How much health do you have?
22 out of 26.
22. Hmm.
Bro, I have the greatest plan. Dump all of your healing points into Zal, so you can't bring him up when he goes unconscious.
No, I got a better plan. I'm gonna cast Fog Cloud in between that dude and Zal. I'm gonna sprint over to Zal.
Alright, you're gonna have to give me
Wait,
that
no.
area
I'm not
effect
gonna
of the
sprint
fog
over.
cloud
I'm
real
not gonna
quick.
sprint over to him. But I'm just gonna yell, "Hey, let's get out of here!"
Okay. Give me the area of effect of a fog cloud real quick.
It is you create a 20-foot radius sphere's fog centered point. The sphere spreads around corners and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration until a wind of moderate or greater speed disperses it.
I mean, if you don't want to cover Zal in the fog, you'll cover one of the Shore Warden who still remain, and the man himself in the fog.
I'm just trying to make sure that guy can't see us,
Fair enough.
So we
That
have
will
time.
obscure his vision.
so we have time to get away. I'm gonna say that, cast it, and start sprinting back towards what's his face? Kotaro.
Okay. You
Good
run your full
choice.
40 feet back to Kotaro.
Good choice.
At that point...
Wait, hey, I'm getting up on that horse, homie. Don't think I'm not.
It takes half your
that'll
movement.
take half your movement, which you don't have any, so you can't get on the horse.
Actually, no. I'm a werewolf. I get to do whatever I want.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, or Kotaro's gonna have to use like his action to pick you up. Man, that's gonna suck for you, but it's how it is.
I mean, I'm gonna outrun the wizard anyways, I think.
At this point, the enemy is both obscured as well as can't see, so just entirely ignores his adversaries in the fog, running to the edge of it, using it to obscure himself, but how fog works, he can see out of it. The Shore Warden are each going to take an attack on him as he flees. One with disadvantage.
Wait, how? How are they taking attacks on him?
Reactions.
Oh.
As he runs away from them, just into the fog deeper and crosses to the edge of it so that he can look out at you guys. but he is still technically obscured from you guys. So it's hard
I
for you to
mean,
see him, but he can actually see pretty well out to at least Kodro and Orion here.
no, he should still have obscured vision
Is it while you're in the fog, or
as
while
long
looking
as you're
into the
with
fog?
as long as you're within that radius, you're heavily obscured vision.
I think it just says you're heavily obscured, or the area in the fog is heavily obscured. Because I've seen this done before by other dams.
Its area is heavily obscured.
Yeah, the area is heavily obscured. What he is not, he's looking out of the area, which is not heavily obscured.
That okay, I don't think that makes sense.
I mean, okay, if he's at the edge of the fog looking out, he can see out, right?
Okay, but if he can see out, then we would be able to see him.
You can
It's not a
see him
two-way.
heavily obscured. You can technically still see someone. They're just really hard to see. You can only see basically his shadow.
I don't think you know how heavily obscured works.
I mean, pretty much is that. But I'll say fine. He ain't gonna see while in the fog, so he'll step 5 more foot out because he has 30-foot movement, and that was 25 of his. So he steps 5 more feet out, and you can both see each other fine. Either way, he isn't worried about staying covered either way. As he steps out and casts Crown of Madness on you, Orion, make a wisdom save for me.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite spells, Crown of Madness. I love Crown of Madness.
Bro, I might have. I don't think I can help you from this.
One of y'all, at this point, one of y'all is dying. That's what it's looking like.
Oh no, you only put 3 level 2s against a Volt
Well,
Trigger.
I told y'all it was going to be a death by quick decision. And y'all's quick decision to fight a Volstrucker. I don't know if it was the good one, but who knows? You might live. Might be to get away.
22.
What?
22.
On a save?
Yes.
You're good. Pass.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
when
like
you said
probably saved
when
you.
you said death by like something like that, I thought it'd be like, oh, it's a hard boss fight, not you're going against Jesus Christ himself.
Hey, I told you, or you guys know Volstrucker are extremely deadly. The only ones you've ever seen in the other game was a guy who is infused with the fiery demon gods, literally a phoenix flying overhead, fighting gods over your head while you're fighting the Volstrucker. That is literally the only Volstrucker you've ever seen. You have a great idea of what a Volstrucker is.
Just because I have the idea of something doesn't mean that he put us against a dragon. Man, how are we getting out of that? I know what dragons can do.
Hey,
but
at least you piqued this guy's interest. Maybe this guy wouldn't kill you just because, odd that we met twice in a row. Maybe he wouldn't kill you because of that. Who knows? You don't have to beg for your life, but you might live. But that's his turn. Actually, no. For a bonus action, he dips his scimitar into one of what you now notice is 3 separate scabbards. He dips his scimitar in the bottom one. That is the end of his turn. It's the wardens, which this one's lost in the fog, but here's where the man goes.
I'm assuming all the wardens just failed the reactions.
Yeah, their reaction attacks missed. I rolled them, and they sucked. Yeah, pretty much no way they're going to hit, and that continues to prove the case. The wardens do nothing. Zao, back to you. You're just poisoned, and you see your friends fleeing, as well as hear them calling for you to flee.
Getting on the cart. I'm getting on the cart, and I'm Gangnam styling. I grab the reins. I yell for the other carts to just dash away.
They can't.
And
everyone that's not here, every cart is now unattended. Half of your caravan left to go save the family. The other half has been killed or is still fighting.
Okay. Oh, okay, so as oh boy, okay. I wanna like grab the horse in front of me quickly. Action. Uh, I want to action speak with animals. Cause fuck you. This better fucking work, Trent. Because this is like the best opportunity I can ever use this. And I basically yell at the horse to tell all the other horses to start marching quickly.
Okay, so you shout at the horse, please start running, more or less. And the horse, like, neighs aggressively and begins his own run, knowing that he should have been running earlier, but also really couldn't very easily, as there is water blocking the path, making it harder, but they're going to take the risk at this point, especially because you're ordering them to. Yeah, he takes off with you on the back of this carriage.
Does he
And,
not get his other horse friends that he can get?
well, yeah, there's others going to run behind you, but they can't
Okay.
move that fast. They're tied up to carriages, man. Right here, this all moves up with you. This water does make it slightly harder on the horses. Not that bad, though. This caravan, actually, you notice this horse right here is slowing it down extremely just because the cart can't actually move. That's the problem they're facing right now. The cart actually can't move very quick because it's only one guy.
So only one horse on this guy.
Yeah, one horse on this one right here, which is a problem.
Okay, well... Okay, would it be considered an object action if I, like, tried to pick up the cart and move with it?
What do you mean by that?
I want to rage and pick up the cart and start running with
you're
the
gonna have
horse.
to. On your next turn you can, but you would have to run backwards to the other one because you're on the lead cart, trying to get away. And this cart's straight up dead. They can't move. This cart straight can't move. So the caravan's actually locked behind the dead horses over here.
So only 4 carts survived. Is basically what I'm
No,
hearing.
only 2 carts survived because the rest, and one has one horse on it, because the rest have horses, but they can't get around the first one on the road here. And going into a ditch would likely get them stuck. So, you got 2 out.
And this mission was just supposed to be failed at this point.
Well,
that's what I'm getting at.
I did plan this mission for, first off, 4 characters, and one of them to get their hand cut off in it. And then they can change it. But it's fine. You ain't dying.
It's fine.
You ain't dying, and they might not ruin everything. You don't know how aggressive these guys are. And you do see more Zalezo coming. That's a good sign, right?
No, fuck you.
After Zal's turn, Kotaro, what are you doing? Are you going to use your action to pick up Orion?
Yeah, I'm going to use my action to pick up Orion. And then I am going to dash straight up.
Straight north into the little lake thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Can I go through that?
Like, yeah, it's unhindered. If you're going on the right side where the water's deeper, no. But on this left side here, it's fairly shallow. So you dash your full horses 60 foot upwards, I assume?
Yep.
All right. That's pretty much all your turn. Ryan, are you doing anything?
He's dashing with the horses 120 feet.
But he had... Oh, yeah, I forgot his horse does 60. I thought they only did 30, which is odd, but...
I think you're talking about like a different type of horse.
Probably the war horse I'm thinking of.
Wait.
Horse also does 60.
So can I use my bonus action to tell it to double dash?
It'll do that automatically. It's something you control for free.
I used my action to pick chase up, so I wasn't sure like if I had to use my action as well to make it dash.
Your horse can run by itself for pretty much free.
Okay.
It's basically just free movement, but the downside is it will like do things that aren't what you ask it to because it's super easy to get rid of. Like someone could fireball it, and then you have to spend half your movement to get out of the saddle when it's dead next to you, or they could control the animal, like mind control the animal, which is a liability, but free movement.
Oh, okay.
What are you doing, Orion? Anything in particular? Kind of too far away to do much.
Lean back and relax, I guess.
All right. The enemy at this point, he looks at you guys fleeing, and once again just runs upwards. He ignores these guys, which I'm just going to roll attacks. They ain't going to hit, though. Nothing hits. He runs upwards, and all the while grinning, puts his scimitar away this time, not redrawing it out of the scabbard like he did last time, and just looks at both of you and calls out in the most odd accent you could probably hear. It's elvish sounding, but he isn't an elf. And it almost has a dwarven elvish lingo mix. Kind of strange. But he calls out essentially, just come back for the remnants. There'll still be some left. I'm not told to destroy it all. Might still get your pay. And then he, at that point, turns back around and is going to Eldritch Blast each of the remaining Zalezo once. Killing both of them pretty much immediately. They have no way of surviving the 3d10 damage he dealt to them. So,
as I'm like 600 feet away at this point, I'm just gonna fucking yell it in Dwarvish at him. A fucking slur.
Yeah, just start slurring at him as you ride away, and you
Dump
see...
sucker is one of them.
You see that the other Zalezo, like, skid to a stop as you guys flee on the hill. They skid to a stop and, like, run back up the hill towards the, now at this point, burnt building, like, burnt down building. And you see the man doing what he, at this point, you likely recognize, probably set that building on fire. Because he, knowing his magic can't really ignite things very permanently, just pulls out of a bag of holding, it seems, a bunch of different lanterns, like oil lanterns, which he then ignites and tosses against 3 of the carts. The rest he leaves unharmed, meaning he only burnt 3 of your 12, oddly enough. The difficulty, however, is the fact that you're going to have to spend a good amount of time here either retrieving the damaged weapons or ignoring them entirely and just clearing the road of the carts. You and the cart behind you, which is moving much slower than your own, this is Zal, by the way, kind of pull ahead a little bit until you feel safe enough. Looking back, you guys recognize that after shattering those 3 carts, or those lanterns on the carts, the man has vanished from sight. Likely by a spell of some sort, though none of you really catch exactly what he says. But he just seems to have vanished after satisfying himself by burning 3 of your carts.
Wait, can we regroup real quick? Like, can I ride my horse over to Zal?
Yeah, you quickly catch up because his cart is slower than your horse, matching up speed with him.
So, like, when I get over to Zal, like, Kotaro is completely out of breath. What was that? Who was that? Was that one of the Dwendalians?
Zal, at this point, like, he kind of, like, stops the cart for a second as he does feel safe. He gets off and angrily just throws down his hammer onto the ground, his maul, and then, like, gets down, walks over to the one horse cart now. He looks back at Kotaro. At this point, Zal is just yelling in Dwarvish. And then kind of like just goes towards the horse, kind of like gently pat him on the back and like look back at Kotaro. That was a Volstrucker, and I was also the same guy we saw on the ship.
Telling me that was a Scourger.
Yeah, sorry, this is Scourger, not Volstrucker. And
Oh no.
Zal kind of just like stares at the horse's eyes for a second, just flashbacks flooding his memory.
How many more of them do they have?
That's unknown.
I don't know. Hundreds, thousands, millions.
If it's any more than, let's say, a dozen, well, we've already lost this war.
Maybe. But, I don't know. I don't think we have... I killed one beforehand. So they're still mortals, they're not some beings to be completely deified. They are a force to be reckoned with. See, Totoro. Now you know what I saw. You too, Orion. As he kind of just like stares at them both. Goes up, picks up his hammer, looks at Kotoro's horse. Can you tie your horse to the cart, please? It'll take forever if we don't get another horse on that soon.
Aye, indeed. And Kotaro ties his horse to the one-horse carriage.
I'd appreciate it if you guys just ride behind me for a bit. Just leave me to myself. And Zal's just like gonna get back onto the cart and just like wait until they're ready.
So are you guys making your way back to the remaining carts of the caravan that were unbroken and uninjured, as well as the remaining half of the Zalezo guards?
After like
I don't know why
an hour or so, an hour or so, I think we should head back after Kotaro hitches up his horse to the cart.
All right.
Hey, I have a question.
Mhm.
I was looking over my character, and my hometown is like Tosa or something like that.
Yep.
Do you know which place that is? Like what place that's in?
Not particularly. I'll see if I can find it.
We should all be home to
Oh yeah.
the menagerie.
I can't show it to you. I forget. Let me see if I can end the stream because you no longer need the battle map. And see if I can stream this. You see the map pop up?
Yeah.
That's Tussa right there.
Yeah.
And you guys
Yeah.
were in the city of Port Zune. So Wyung Gates is right here. You guys went down to Port Zune for your little expedition where you first saw this man. All the way up here is Tussa. And Port Damali is like the capital city almost of this place, of the menagerie.
Okay.
Which I forgot to mention that, and this is on me, but Port Zune was actually my hometown.
I mean, yeah. It doesn't really change
It's on me.
much, but
Yeah, it didn't really change much, but I should have... I mean, I would have known, like, some things, considering I was a blacksmith here. But, oh well.
some point I'm definitely going to bring y'all to like Brokebank and, you know, these random unexplored islands ain't got nothing on them. Just going to force the carriage to that direction for some reason. Because I think it'd be fun to explore the weird ancient stuff that goes on there.
Here, 1 second. I'll be right back.
I want to have sex with a baboon on that island.
That was random, man. You had that on your mind for a while.
No, that was literally just a 5-second answer.
Mm-hmm. That's what they all say. That's what all bamboo fuckers say.
How would you know? Trent, how would you know?
Because you say it all the time. You and Damien say it all the time. Every time. Y'all are like, man, I really want to go and find some apes in the forest, man.
No one
You
says
always
that.
say that. You say it repeatedly. You and Damien
No one
said it
says-
multiple times. I don't know what you're talking about.
There might be some
Okay, I'm
faulty
back.
programming in
Man,
your
that
system,
sounds so
but no
racist.
one has said that.
Now that I think about it, that sounds so racist.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
What do you
man.
mean by that?
Nothing, man.
What do you mean by that?
I ain't gonna specify. That makes it more racist.
God, Trent.
But you eventually rejoin your caravan. They're busy at work by the time you guys come back, clearing the carts out of the way and gathering what they can. They start setting out campfires and setting up a small tent setup for the night. Uh, and the captain rides up towards you guys, looking at you guys kind of disappointedly, almost like he expected more of you. Uh, and just shakes his head, just goes, "Man, we're gonna camp here for the night. We're gonna spend the night harvesting whatever remains we can get back and wrapping up the corpses to bring back to their hometowns. So might as well get comfortable here for the night, and hope the guy doesn't come back. 'Cause apparently he can kill all of us if he wants."
Especially you.
Did you say especially you? He frowns heavily at that remark. And just like shakes his head even more and just goes, "And they said you the elite fighting force of the menagerie." And he rears his horse around and walks back over to his, what you now understand to be more than likely, friend group in this little bunch. Half of which is no longer there, as there are burned corpses nearby.
Zhao glares. Zhao glares at him as he's walking away. Yes, an elite force against basically gods.
You guys, you wouldn't miss this fireball scroll, would you?
Kotaro, just don't. Let's just try and help as much as we can. Another false stalker.
Yes, sir.
Zhao kind of just like he's like at this point just gripping onto the reins tightly to the point where he might just break them if he's like just holding them. Like they might just like pop in his hands if since he's holding it so tight. He kind of just like walks towards the carts and tries to help any way he can.
You use your immense strength comparatively to start lifting the heavy parts that burnt together, tearing at the metal that is fused with wood, lifting the large sacks of blades and shields and muskets and like pistols, flintlocks, all at once. Tearing them up one bag at a time, several weapons each. You don't feel quite as distinctly the burns if you touch an ember as the Zalezo do, more resistant and refined in the ways. And you understand, you come to a conclusion in your mind that you must get revenge, just out of traumatic experience more than anything. You need to kill this guy, because otherwise he's going to keep causing issues and keep killing people. This is something that almost instinctively comes to you. You don't have to act on it, but it's just your first impulse that you have.
Yeah, which the impulse that Zhao feels immediately. He kind of just like looks at like one of the carts and just like immediately punches it, a hole immediately going through it. He kind of just like stares at his fist for a second, pulls it out, rubs his knuckle, and just shakes his head and tries to save any of the weapons that might have survived some of the fires.
An extremely young shore warden nearby, probably no more than 19 years of age, looks at you as you punch cleanly through the slightly burned wood, and just like steps to the side where most people couldn't see him, but you're unusually perceptive today as you recognize the kid attempts to do the same thing you did and punch through the wood, and immediately grips his hand, and you see his eyes water slightly, and he just walks away, letting you continue your work.
Zhao, as he sees this, like, he lets out like a small chuckle, as like that kind of did bring back some bright into the day, and he's just like, and then he just like shakes his head and like starts working again.
And through the night you work, and into the night you rest. Which of you is keeping watch at your campfire on this fine evening?
Zhao will be the first watch.
Terrible fights.
Zhao will be the first watch.
Okay. You guys are, like, slightly separated as they trust you more. They know that you didn't die in the conflict, whereas other shore wardens easily did. So there's like 4 main postings around each of the carts or each of the sections of the caravan, and then there's like the main group that just kind of stay in the wagons.
I'm no longer
You
poisoned
guys,
now.
no, you're no longer poisoned. That wears off after the hour
Good.
that you guys waited.
Okay.
But you guys are like positioned out to the top right, close to where the man bust out of. You understand that the people are likely trying to put you being the first ones attacked because they think you'll survive it, and or they want you to die. That's just up to you to determine which. But you know, they push you guys out there. So what's your perception check?
No one can give me help because they're all resting.
They really need to sleep. They're human. They're not.
I mean,
elves.
I'm human too.
Yeah, but they're not. None of them are elves, so they can't.
I'm a half elf.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but you don't get the trance thing. You still need to sleep normal.
Yeah.
And the night's
Which
divided
we
into 3
found out.
watches, so you're having to do it by yourself.
Yeah. So my passive is just better than what I rolled. So.
Okay, so more or less your passive will take over there in this scenario.
Yep. Which is a 15.
As you sit watching the fire, the embers burning slowly to the ground, continuously restocking it to keep it slightly warm, so none of you get cold in the slightly chillier Dundalian nights, even though you're just slightly above the wall. Out of the corner of your eye, you do catch a little bit of movement. You glance over quickly. You swear you saw a shadow of a man move. And then again, slightly to your right. You hear a footstep crack a branch behind you. And you feel a light brush against your shoulder as a piece of paper slides down. And a sack of gold lands slamming next to the fireplace. Or what sounds like a sack of gold. It's just a sack of what looks to be coins. You then hear quick stepping away and muttering an enchantment and a whoosh.
Okay, as like the paper was like falling behind him, Zal's just gonna swing, like do like an uppercut. But obviously missing something.
I mean, make an attack with disadvantage. I'll give you that. As soon as you hear someone nearby, you try and take them out.
Can I reckless? Can I reckless?
I'll let you reckless. Sure.
Okay. So this is my strength
straight roll.
check. Yes. Straight
Straight
roll.
attack roll.
With strength. No.
No. What was it?
Natural 1.
Yeah. You quickly, as soon as you can, swing backwards, immediately reacting to the attack, but your hammer at that point almost slips out of your hands. And you hear it, like, smack against the guy's shoulder. Like, you hear it smacking against flesh, but not in a hard, heavy-hitting way. More like it gently fell next to them off their back.
Wasn't my hammer I was using, because, I mean, Zal had it, but he was just, like, gonna, like, use his fist, really.
Oh. Well, either way, you
had a
spin
different-
backwards, and either way,
Wait a
it just
second.
don't work. Quick jabs, not
That's
catching
fine.
this guy.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I would have lost anyway. Okay, so Zal just like kind of like just rubs his elbow a little bit, and then like looks at the piece of paper and just starts reading it.
You look at the paper, opening it up, and yeah, it's a letter. And on the letter, you recognize scribbled handwriting that it looks extremely refined, as well as almost from a ravenous animal at the same time. There is a eloquence of calligraphy in some of the words, and then some letters have really sharp angles, like someone scrawling it as quickly as they could. And it seems to mix together in an extremely weird way. And you recognize this is likely to hide handwriting and to make it so there's no way to copy what he was trying to do and have it look like any normal person's handwriting. So you couldn't use it if you were a good forger, more or less. And on it, it more or less goes, my heart is heavy with sorrow. I do as I am told, not as I want. I wish to stay my blade as often as possible. but greaters than I control my every move. Give this to their families. And it's a small drawing of the pouch. It's a really basic drawing of almost like basically a brown pouch. He's drawn on the page, just scribbling it with dirt almost on the paper.
Zal just like looks at it, looks at the fire, tosses it in there, and then grabs the pouch, trying to feel like how much gold is in there.
It's not gold as you open it up. You recognize 50 platinum resting in the pouch. Fairly small, but extremely valuable. That would be, for every man he killed, nearly 100 gold to each family. Well, not nearly 100 gold. Nearly 70 gold to each family of each soldier he killed.
Zal kind of just like stares at it. Looks around. Does he see the captain anywhere? Like the captain's tent?
What?
Does he see where the captain is staying at?
You glance around and you notice that this man has probably teleported away as soon as he gave this to you. But you can say that he didn't teleport very far, as he isn't even trying to hide, and you just see the shadow of a man standing in the forest for but a split second, and you see yet another flash as he notices you staring at him, as he squeezes his crystal again, vanishing yet again, this time out of sight. Continuing on the move. Likely having several spells, he isn't worried about you catching him. He believes that there's no reason for you to hunt him, or if you did, you would likely just be cut down.
Zal kind of like just gets up, and I'm assuming the shore warden captain's awake, or is he? Is he asleep?
He is positioned on one of the other angles and is actively keeping watch the same way you were.
Okay. Zal will kind of like just walk over to the shore warden captain, and toss him the bag a bit about 15 feet away from him.
He looks over as you toss the bag and hearing it thunk to the ground. Just looks at you. Doesn't really know what it is, so he just looks at you.
For the families that lost someone here today.
Sure, they'll be grateful.
Zal kind of just like starts walking back, still in an angry mood from today.
The captain picks up the pouch and begins counting, and you hear him gasp behind you, like how much money this is really. And he sits back down, just counting it over and over again to make sure he's really seeing what he's seeing. And you sit back down, finishing your watch. The other two watches go by mostly uneventful. None of you guys have any particular things you see or hear that tip you off to anything else happening. Anything you wish to do over the night, or are we going to wake up next morning?
I would like to talk to Zal and Orion.
You'll probably want to
Like,
do that
are
when
we
they're
all
waking
together?
up as to not ruin their long rest.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I'll just do it. when
So
we
as
wake
you're
up.
waking up, you probably had the finishing shift and bring it up as they groggily awaken into the morning sunlight with a soft fog blanketing the area.
So I'm not the only one suspicious of not only the schoolja, but our own people, correct?
What do you mean by that, Kotaro? As he kind of
Well,
just like rubs his eyes.
Think about it. You see, he only burned certain carriages. I see no reason as to why he wouldn't burn all of them. Wouldn't that cut us off completely of supply?
Zal kind of like looks over at the obviously damaged carts and reminiscing what happened yesterday. I don't think. Well, the Volstro, not the Volstro. I keep saying the real name. Redo. The Scourgers, I think, have their own reasons for doing things. I don't even think the king of the Dwindles know them, but still.
The only reason I say this is because, well, he chose specific carriages, and while I do not know what was in these, for some reason he did. And of
Maybe
course, the
just send a
Scourges.
message.
What?
Maybe just send a message.
Maybe.
I will say, Zal, since you were actively helping, as probably Orion was as well, in the recovery, you know that the wagons he damaged carried mostly muskets, while the carriages he left undamaged carried mostly swords and shields. He was taking out your gun supply.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Zal will kind of like think for a second. It's like they targeted the ones with the most guns. That's what they were after, probably. They don't want the Menagerie to gain big weapons like they do, and if they can make that many, who knows how many, they can probably supply one god of the whatever they call themselves. But honestly, I have suspicions they could probably just take us out with a single force of a Scourger group, but who am I to say? I mean, I did take one out before, but maybe he was a weaker one. Too confident for his kind. Look, let's just drop this subject for now. We should probably just get a move on before any more troubles affect us.
So do you all begin your journey?
I guess so. Actually, I want to do one more thing.
Again.
Chase,
Mm-hmm.
wake up.
Yeah.
Ah, there he is.
Wake up, nerd. Do something.
Ain't nothing for me to do.
You can speak to literally anyone. Okay. Okay. So Zal's going to go over to, I guess, the captain again, because that's like the only one I can think of who would have the full list of what was saved and what's not. And I want to ask him like what was saved, how much did we lose and stuff.
Okay. He will explain more than anything that you lost most of your guns. When you ask the question, it's more or less. I mean, we lost 70, 80% muskets. Ain't got but like maybe 100 of those left. Best. We got a few pistols. Got about 150 pistols, but they were in the same wagons. Foolishly. We still got most, probably about 90% of to 95% of our swords and shields remaining. So, not like we're defenseless. We just don't have the tech, which I think they're not wanting us to. I guess. If what you're saying is true.
I would probably double check because the first cart I checked had like 100 or so muskets in it.
Yeah, that's what I said. We have about 100, maybe 150 muskets. That's about all we have.
If each card hold 100, I'm assuming probably twice of what you just said. But either way, I digress. Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like we have some capable smiths back at the menagerie, so maybe they can look at the weapon and try and figure it out, I guess, to see if they can make any more.
I mean, we know how to make guns. That isn't the issue. We know how to make guns. We need more. And we don't have more. And they are hard to make. And the Empire has found a way to do it quickly. They won't say how, but they have. And so their guns are cheap. And their guns are efficient. Whereas ours, if a smith is bad, can blow up in our soldiers' faces. And it may take months of time to do that.
I suppose. I mean, at least we saved some, even not all of them. But it's not really much you can do against a scourger now, can you? And Zal will kind of like to start walking away, getting on to the first cart, and is ready to start the journey now.
All right. Anything else anyone else wants to do? Or are we
Stallion.
just continuing? All right. As you guys make the rest of the way back to the Wayun Gate, specifically entering the Saros Mountains before getting there, you turn off about a day early to make sure you don't come inside of the gates on accident. Eventually finding your way to the back pathway that you think was indicated. I want whoever wants to be leading this expedition, as none of these are shore wardens necessarily know a whole lot about survival. You guys were the ones that led them here, so they're going to trust you. Who wants to lead, or who wants to give advantage to the person who is leading this, survival check set up here?
I'll take a survival check.
You'll make one?
Anyone
Yeah.
else going to make one, or are you going to give advantage to Kotaro?
I'll give advantage. Yeah, sure. I'll just give advantage because I was gonna have Chase roll something because he hasn't rolled in a while besides like in combat.
And even then, it was a wisdom save, and that's about it. But
Well, I
You
thought survival was an intelligence save for some reason. So
No,
Chase,
survival's
if
a
you want
wisdom.
to,
I have a +4 to wisdom.
you're probably
Yeah,
one of
you
the
do it
best
then.
for it then.
So you have advantage with your survival skill. I mean, to be fair, you are the technically mercenary.
23.
23, you are good. Ain't no way you're all getting lost. Ain't no dangerous situations sneaking up on you. You're prepared. As you enter the mountains, your trail is found easily. You don't have to double back on yourself awkwardly, making your horses switch sides and haul the wagons from the back. You don't have to do any of that. You guys make your way smoothly and cleanly through the first third of your journey. Nothing jumps out and attacks you, but a blizzard storm in the middle of summer, nonetheless, strikes you heavily. The carts begin to slide on the stones, and you're forced to stop for a day or two to compensate, to make sure you don't slide off out of just a unlucky slip. This is just the dangers and the time consumption of walking in the Saros Mountains. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. No matter how good of a survivalist you are, when you're good enough, you know you can't keep pushing forward. On your second leg of your journey, I want someone to make a perception check as your survival is covered. You have a clean path. Now I want you
I'll
to
make
watch
it
for
because
enemies.
I have advantage
Yeah.
on perception.
No, just give Biel it.
No, he doesn't have to get advantage. He already has advantage.
Oh,
Because he's aware of something, right? Because you have keen hearing and smell, right?
Yeah, but with my shield, it gives it to me anyways.
Oh, that's also true. So someone else can still roll.
I got an
Wow.
18.
oh. Okay, I'll roll for the second one then. With advantage again or no?
No. Just straight this time.
Okay. Yeah, 11. Man, that my +5s and +6s today. Killing me.
Sean, what did you roll?
Because two of you can roll, and you already have advantage. So it's a free second roll. Why not?
Oh,
I mean, yeah, That is a huge benefit I didn't even recognize that you now
Wait
have.
a sec.
If you have advantage and another roll.
Wait a second, Biel, or not Biel. Chase, you could have rolled with advantage on the perception check with when you were looking for the Volshocker, no?
That was you that rolled that check, Sean.
I know, but like Chase, like at the start of combat. Oh wait, no, he saw it anyway, technically, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, it was just how quick he saw it, I guess, but it wouldn't have made a difference, really. It would have just been
Yeah.
earlier or later deciding to flee. Or dying. But with a 18, you're reasonably perceptive. Most things would have a difficult, extremely difficult even, time hiding from your gaze. Not a whole lot slips by your cracks. You even manage to spot a stone giant watching you from a distance. Once he notices that you look up at him, though, that
flip it
stone
off.
giant immediately flees, running away, not wanting any difficulties with this party. Likely just harboring a small stone giant family up here in the,
Did
mountain
it see me
range.
flip it off?
Do what?
Did it see me flip it off?
Oh yeah, probably. As you begin to end the next third of your journey, the storm's conditions wear off, and you guys can breathe a heavy sigh of relief. But instead, it begins to rain, and as you continue moving, it gets muddier and muddier. This is going to be the most annoying and difficult part of this journey, you assume. And as you take shelter for the like a night, just to sleep and get ready for the next day's travel, Orion, you are unusually perceptive, and actually notice that you're resting next to what looks to be a entranceway that was man-made, carved into a man-made cave. You're just like 200 foot away. It's slightly up a bluff. Like, you're going to have to climb up a little bit, but you can see the top of a cave that is like at a weird angle to allow you to pretty much see a perfect entranceway into a cave. All man-carved, as you know it to be pretty hard for nature to make right angles, and not giant-made because it's too small for giants. This is either made by a dwarf or someone of human heritage. Likely not an elf, as they don't usually do that.
And only Ryan sees this? Like, what's the check for this? Because I have 15.
He's the first one that sees it. He can pretty easily describe it to you guys. Sal quickly catches on, even just following his gaze.
I'm. What you just said, I'm gonna relay.
What?
Okay.
You said I'm relaying it to them.
Oh.
Okay, relaying to us. Okay.
He points out
Zach kind of just like looks at the stones. Like he obviously sees it weirdly. I don't think I'd roll an investigation check for any traps nearby. I mean, it's a cave. But I'll do it anyway.
So you're gonna start
guess I'm
inspecting
gonna-
traps as you move towards it, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I want to move it like carefully towards it for like any traps.
You start using your pythons to climb the little cliff edge upwards slowly.
Zal sees nothing.
Alright.
What, Eden?
Am I like here with you guys, or am I just chilling?
You're around.
You're-
You're in the caravan.
you're around.
They pointed out to you.
Well, okay.
You are probably what scholars would call pimp chimping.
And you do see that Orion points it out, and Sal immediately starts moving towards it, and apparently his interest has been piqued.
Well, I guess I'll follow them fellas then.
Are you also going, Orion? Starting to make your way using the pythons that are supplied by the military up?
Yeah.
All right. You each tie some rope, making sure that you guys are no further than, minimum safe distance and all sorts of military training kicking in. You went through basic training years ago, and maybe it's coming to use. Who knows how safe it would be, though. Uh,
And
some of you slip more than once as it is actively raining pretty heavily, but none of you fall aggressively, at least. Maybe a small slip makes you miss a step or something. But as you reach the top, you see the cave. The reason you could see the doorway so easily is because it's actually angled upwards, like someone carved a staircase or like a crawl space almost, because it's just a sloping upwards cave. There's no stairs. It's almost as if you were at the top of the mountain, or not top of the mountain, but like up higher in the mountain. You could slide all the way through it. Looks to be almost the purpose of this cave. It's odd, but it
okay,
is also extremely dark, so it's
could
hard to tell.
could I look at this stone and like try to figure out like what it is? Because it's obviously not natural.
What do you mean by trying to figure out what it is?
I just want to know the history of it.
Make an investigation check, I guess.
Okay. What is? God, my luck is horrible. I know nothing about it. It's man-made. That's all I can tell.
I mean, it's likely from the mantle. Probably formed when two tectonic plates collided. But yeah, other than that, it's likely man-made as well. This little carve-out, at least.
Okay. Should we check it out? See if there's anything hiding in here. What was that noise?
Eh?
Yeah.
Eh? Okay. I don't suppose any of you can see well in the dark, right?
No.
What about you,
Orion
Orion? You
can.
What?
can you see in the dark well, Orion?
Give me a second.
I think so. You're a half-elf.
Chase, if you're a half elf, I'm pretty sure you have dark vision.
Well, to us, he looks like a. Well,
Yeah,
I
you
guess to us,
guys,
he
I
would
mean,
look like an
unless he
elf.
specifies, you guys really do see him more of a human. He looks more human to you.
Oh, I thought it was the other. I thought it was like
I
vice
don't
versa.
know.
Like,
Every time I say one, you guys say the other one. I never know.
what? Chase's phone is like dying. I think it might be his connection.
Oh, the way half elves work is like the storm elf thingy is essentially all it does is it gives you the regular half elf stuff, but it also adds the Mark of the Storm stuff. So whatever
Okay,
a half
so
elf can get,
I
would
think a half
get
elf
them.
has, yeah.
yeah, they have dark vision, so yeah. So Orion can't see inside. Okay, Orion, do you want to lead us? Because we can't really see. We'd have to use torches to see.
Sure.
Okay. Zal will kind of like, uh, Zal will kind of like grab a torch. Look back at the caravan. Doesn't think it's going to be attacked. Because I mean, we're in like no one's going to go up here probably. Zal's going to look at the cave and is like, walk inside with Zal leading, or not Zal, with Orion leading, and he'll go ahead and like put out a torch.
All right. You go ahead and pull out your torch, igniting it, and allowing you to, although temporarily, as you have to strike it several times, it is raining heavily, to try and get it to ignite. You allow yourself to see into it about 30 feet into the cave. And in fact, it is a upward sloping cave. Someone has carved out an entirely smooth tunnel with slight grip holds, like a rock climbing course, almost, up into the mountain.
All right. Okay, Ryan. Lead us.
Well, actually, one thing you notice is the left side has the rock climbing course, like grips, and the right side is entirely smooth. That is the one oddity you notice. Only half of it has the grips. But
Okay.
who's leading the way?
Me.
All right. Orion begins his ascent using the little handholds and stepping stones to make his way upwards. The cave is very bare bones. It's bland, and you do immediately see a light at the other end, and make your way up there. And it doesn't take very long. It takes you about 5 or 6 minutes of climbing, and you move several hundred feet in the air, more ascended. And as you exit the top of the cave, it comes into a larger man-made cavern, and now you notice that this is likely a old dwarven base of some kind, although temporary more than likely. There is obviously dwarven-sized structures. You see barrels filled, or not filled, but filled with the smell of what used to be mead that is now cracked and rotted, the wood of the barrels. You see a hearth nearby. You see several tables. You see that this has several more rooms to it. This was just one of them. This is likely the hall of the place, like the meeting room or whatever, where all the dwarves would go. This is an abandoned dwarven hall. And one thing that does catch your attention as you exit is that there is a stack of shields. Probably 20 shields high remaining. These 20 shields high all are dry rotted and stuff, obviously, having no particular way to stay protected from just existing. But they're all just stacked next to this little shaft. And on the inside, you do see a few skeletons of dwarves, as well as skeletons of many a goblin and even a stone giant, as you begin to peruse in the little dwarven cavern here. It seems abandoned, like entirely. Not just like, oh, they abandoned it and something else took over. No, it's entirely abandoned. And you explore the entire cavern without finding pretty much anything valuable, as well as without finding any living creatures. The only thing you notice that you think might be of value looks to be on one of the large giant corpses, stone giant corpse. It is wielding a oddly well-made, massive battle axe. Or war axe, I mean, like the two-handed one.
I want it.
I already said I'm going up to it. I'm gonna like.
Couldn't hear you because your garbage mic. Get a better mic. I'm going.
Are y'all gonna wrestle over this extremely large war axe?
Yeah.
Make athletic checks contesting to see who pulls this from each other, I guess.
What? Make a what?
Athletics check, that's what it would have to be.
Ah, never mind.
Wizard back out, wizard back out.
I'm obviously out of my league here, guys.
Yeah,
Go
like,
up to it, and I'll just I'd try to examine it, I guess.
You examine it. There isn't any relative history. No matter how hard you rack your brain, this seems to be just a random example of an extremely, extremely fine weapon. And for a stone giant, nonetheless. One thing that you do notice while inspecting the weapon is that while you look at the corpses, there is obvious acid damage, which is strange. But as
Guys, let's find a basilisk.
not the weapon. You look at the creatures, look at the corpses. That's acid damage. The weapon itself doesn't seem to have any acid damage, which is strange if the creature wielding it died of acid/sword strikes. That's the only thing that you really garner. You do eventually find the normal exit, as there is a regular cavern. Not a regular cavern, a regular double-wide doorway that the dwarves probably use as a regular exit. And it leads out onto a plateau-style little dirt mound up here.
well, I mean, we got to see a piece of history, I guess, but Nothing really valuable
Boring
here.
piece of history.
I'm sorry, what, Kotaro? I couldn't hear you.
A dreadfully boring piece of history.
Yes, but I mean, you don't really see much of Dwarven headquarters anymore. I mean, got this axe, which what is the axe made out of? Trent?
Uh, it's really hard to tell even to your eyes. It looks
Oh,
fine, but it also looks to be of a material you have rarely worked with. So you can't
is
really
that
place it. It's not iron, it's not steel, but it's not copper. That's really
Mithril.
other than no, it's not gold. It's nothing that a normal weapon would be made out of. I want you to make a smithing check, which is your strength plus your proficiency, just to recall the smithing knowledge required to try and figure out what this would be. High DC on this one.
I, I know, but my +6s haven't been me favors. Yeah, 15. I
15.
don't think I get it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what this is made of. You've never worked with this material before.
Dude, I swear to God, my +6s haven't rolled anything above a fucking 10.
Could I make a check to see what it is? Maybe.
You have no relevant smithing knowledge to have, especially if he can't decipher it. There's no relevant smithing knowledge that would
But like,
ever reveal to you what this is.
I meant like if it was like magical or something.
You also have no magical senses to do that.
I do.
The only hint you have, well, yes, you do. The only hint he has, Orion, is that the bodies were acid burned while the weapon seems unmarred. You can hand it over to your wizard, which was the one wrestling for you in the first place, and he could try and identify it if you want. If he has that spell.
I give it. I give it to I give it to Kotaro, and I'm just like, listen, finders keepers, losers keep their grubby little hands off of it. But I need to know what it does because there's something about it that just seems different. Would you help old friend out?
Yes, yes. Give it to the wizard. Give it here, oaf.
I just hand him it.
Okay. Are you casting Identify?
Arcana. That's all I got. That's all I got.
You don't have
That's all I
Identify
got.
as a spell?
See if no.
That is
Not yet.
an interesting choice to not have Identify. Either way, yeah. Use your Arcana, I guess.
16. In the odd 4 years of playing D&D, this is the first time I've ever encountered a time where I've been asked to use Identify.
Yeah, you're about
That is
you're about the only
strange.
DM that we've all played with who asked for identification.
I mean, you can always try and attune to it. It will reveal it to you. The issue is if it's cursed, you can't break the
fucked.
curse. Yeah, you're just screwed there.
Can't I have something that breaks a curse?
Yes, but
Remove curse?
most curses have oh, you can't tell people you're cursed. That's how badly you want it. You ain't gonna cast remove curse on yourself. You know why? You really want to keep this item. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. You're not. It's a lot of curses have ways around stopping. Just remove curse from happening. Eventually, it will happen, but
I'm attuned to it. Just
you start focusing on
Case
it.
you're
You have to
retarded.
spend the next hour, but you start focusing on it.
wait. What did you do on your Arcana thing?
16.
I mean, he recognizes that it likely has at least one property, which would be resilience, because it isn't damaged by the acid that was killing other things in the rooms. But it would be hard to determine if that's magical or just a strange material. One thing you notice that is revealing a little bit, but you have no real indication by that either, is that when you shine the torch over it, when the weapon shines back and reflects the light reflects green almost. Almost like if it turns the color something else. But other than that, who
Boom.
knows?
Okay, I'm gonna attune to it.
You're going to attune to the massive war axe?
Yes.
No, I think I should. I think I should.
No, because if you get cursed, you can't remove it.
And you're the only one that could cast Remove Curse. So, I'm assuming Kotaro begins to spend the next hour then, focusing on the weapon.
Yeah. And literally, if it's like, you get disadvantage on melee attacks. Man, that sucks.
Anyways,
Never used a melee attack this entire campaign.
yeah. You spend the next hour exploring this little dwarven dungeon, stepping out into the plateau and seeing even more destruction wrought of acid, which is strange. Whoever does want to walk in the plateau, I'll give you a survival check. Like, which two of you can make a survival or one with advantage. That's what I mean if you want to investigate the plateau a little bit.
Who just left?
Sean.
Yeah.
So I would
Rip.
say probably yeah, probably Orion want to do the survival checks.
Hi, what happened?
I was saying that if you wanted to explore the plateau, there's survival checks in it for you.
Survival checks. Orion, you want to do it for us, buddy?
Give me advantage, ho.
Obviously.
So am I just kind of chilling?
20.
To attune to it, you're taking the whole hour, so yeah, you're pretty much just chilling.
Pretty much relaxing in the dwarven fort. With a 20, you can see what looks to be a lot of footprints recent. Like
Here.
a good solid 10 separate tracks of giant. Varying sizes, however, which is odd. Most giants don't work together if they're different sizes. You see well over 100 goblinkin, varying, mostly goblin specifically, but you get what you would seem to be orc-sized or human-sized, but likely orc if they're traveling with goblin-sized people. There's an extremely large number for no apparent reason, just marching up to this little fortress, then away, and then down the road further, deeper into the mountain range. It's a strange sight, and it's recent, meaning this fort was probably overtaken recently, and word hasn't gotten out yet because it was so small.
Okay, so Zal will notice the footprints, no?
Yeah. I mean, you guys can easily share that information if you want to each other.
Okay. Which I'm assuming you're doing, Orion?
No, I hate all of you. No.
Okay. Okay, Zal's gonna look down, kind of crouch, like look at the footprints, seeing the giant ones, and seeing basically just all of them, but mainly focusing on the giant ones. Okay, we shouldn't follow these tracks. I say we just head back to the caravan and get going.
Okay. As soon as I'll be going back, or I'll be going to press on because my interest is piqued, and I kind of want to move on. Even at the expense of you two, obviously. This axe troubles me, so if we are moving on, I will stop tuning to it and wait until a later date. But if we are going to go ahead and go back to the caravan, then I see no reason why I shouldn't.
Shouldn't what, like continue focusing on that?
Yes, I do not wish to I do not wish to have my hands magically removed from my body as something of that caliber,
Okay, well
especially
I
if
do
we're about
say
to be in a fight.
if we are heading back to the caravan, probably a good idea to not use that. We'll we'll keep the axe for later dates. I can hold it if you guys want me to. We can identify it later and see what its properties are.
Right.
Okay, does Kotaro hand the axe to Sal, or does he keep it?
I'm keeping it, bro. You can't have it.
So you're ending your attempt to attune to it.
Nah, I'm gonna keep attuning to it.
Okay, that's strange, but are
Nah,
y'all?
bro, this axe is turning me into Smeagol, bro.
Yeah, are y'all
It's part of.
following?
It's part of.
Are you
It's
following the
Kotaro's
footsteps?
character art.
Yeah, we're gonna head back to the
Oh,
caravan.
you're heading back to the caravan. But say, I'm like, bro, y'all gonna like try and find more axes by following the footsteps, man?
No, we're following the caravan. Thank you very much.
You walk back into the dwarven place and recognize now that you're pushing back in. This was likely a final stand, and this this little dwarf area was likely pulled up for a good while. The doors are battered with stones, which you can only see from the outside after investigating the plateau. And it seems like there was like a small siege battle here. And this was probably the tunnel you came up in was probably the freshest tunnel made. You recognize now its purpose. Just by walking down, you see that more and more dwarves were pushed in this corner until they all jumped down this hole using shields as sleds to slide out the bottom and quickly retreat, knowing that none of the others would have the shield supply nor the size requirement to do so. You guys were lucky, though, because they managed to somehow mess up their collapsing of the tunnel, more than likely, and you would never have seen this otherwise. You, however, not having, or at least most of you not having proper shields to slide on, climb your way back down, not willing to risk, more than likely, the dry, rotted shields nearby.
I have a shield.
Do you want to
I have
try and
shield.
slide on it down the little hole?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, I'm good.
You make your way back to the caravan pretty easily, and Kotaro, as you finish your attunement to this large, pretty massive for a human size battle axe, you recognize pretty much all of its properties then and there. This weapon is made of adamantine. You understand that it's also magical, though not in the most regular ways. It doesn't have any particularly special properties that you can really discern of. The main one that you recognize is the ability to hit an enemy and knock them to the ground when you hit them, with the extreme force behind the blow. It would be really hard
cool.
for one of you guys to use because of how large it is. It's an oversized weapon. But if you wanted to and really wanted to knock someone prone, you probably could by hitting them with this weapon. The DC on that save is a DC 20 strength save because it's a massive weapon.
Okay, I'm gonna say,
How
Ryan,
strong do I need to be able to wield this thing effectively?
It is oversized, meaning you have disadvantage. That is just a plain out fact. That's just how it is. There's no strength requirement necessary. Oh, well, technically you have to have 13 strength, but there's no way you can be strong enough because it's not necessarily that you're not strong enough. It's that it is not built for your size. It's actively just too big. It's so unwieldy that it gives you disadvantage.
What if I was raging while I wield it? Because I get advantage on strength checks.
Well, you can reckless and have a straight roll, and if you want to knock an enemy prone, you could pretty easily.
I could probably maybe dwindle the size. I mean, I have magic smith tools. Maybe that'll do something.
Yeah, maybe. Magic smith tools might be able to chip away at magic weapons. Who knows? You'll have to get to a proper forge to find it out, though.
Yes.
And over the next few days, the rain lets up slightly.
Wait.
Yeah?
I gotta do something real quick.
Alright, what are you doing?
Orion, come here. Are you gonna come to my beckon?
Um, yeah, but for some reason, something in the back of my head just like pull your shield out because I have my shield out as I'm running up to you.
Okay. Okay. Orion, let me hit you with this.
I hold my shield up directly. I go hit me, do it, do it. I'm like giggling.
Okay. I'm gonna smack Orion as hard as I can with it.
It is a
Giggling like a frat
strength-based
boy.
weapon, and you have disadvantage on the strike. So
All right.
He snaps his arms trying to swing it.
Bro, probably.
Oh god.
let's see if
Wait,
it's
I
a
have
natural one.
16
wait.
strength.
Could if I turned into a werewolf, that would make me slightly larger. Could I use it then?
No, not unless you become a large creature.
Man,
D20
hate all
plus
y'all.
3. Okay,
Oh.
that's a 21.
Wait a minute. Yo, just
Wait
give
a
this to your
second.
wizard, bro.
Wait a second.
He might be a more effective melee than you, to be honest.
And
What?
22.
God dang! Kotaro is a beast! Kotaro's
21.
literally the best!
Doing 21 with a disadvantage. Oh my god,
So,
bro.
I'm assuming 21 hits. And your best shield defense is crushed under the weight of this weapon that Kotaro is wielding with surprising accuracy. Make
No,
a.
bro, I have 16 strength.
Yeah, but
I
still,
think
you're a
I messed up
wizard!
while making my stats. I messed up while making my stats because I only have 10 wisdom.
You really have a +5 to hit. That's actually not bad especially for a wizard.
Well, he doesn't have a +5
Bro.
to hit because they're not proficient with martial weapons.
That's true.
Yes, I am. I'm proficient with every single martial weapon.
Because I forgot you're a blade singer, aren't you?
No, his warcaster.
No, it's it's
Oh.
because of my Heroes
Oh
Chronicles stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, his Hero
Technically,
Chronicle?
yeah, because he got
No,
the
dude, I didn't even add that to that. That would have made my roll a 23.
You're
oh.
ridiculous.
Bro, I'm second in the fighter.
Fighter wizard, bro. Make,
Yeah,
make
but
your
you
strength
have
save. See if you fall to the ground in disbelief as Kotaro beats you up.
So Zal's just looking at this with like pure confusion as he just sees he sees this Kotaro just wield this thing
Chase,
with like super
remember
ease.
you can choose to fail the save. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can willingly let Kotaro knock you to the floor if you want.
I'm gonna fail the save.
Okay, you don't
Okay.
even try and stand. Get your knees giving out at the
Wait,
awe of
no,
the
no, no,
spectacle
no.
of Kotaro.
What I do is right before it hits, I jump in the air, like I let my feet off, so I go flying.
Actively propelling yourself away to make it more dramatic.
While I'm flying, he has some like premonition of some a wise wizard by the name of Johnny Knoxville welcoming himself to Jackass. I'm Orion
God.
Fish, welcome to Jackass. Gets
How much
pinned to the
damage does
wall
it
and
hit
breaks
you?
his back.
It does 2d12.
Oh shoot! Shoot! Shoot!
Because it's an
Oh my.
oversized war axe, and a war axe does a d12.
Okay. So 2d12?
Yep. See if you
This could
kill
actually
him on
probably.
one strike.
21 damage.
Holy
Does that knock you unconscious or no?
No.
How much HP do you have remaining?
shit! 4.
Oh my god!
Guys, you should let me keep it. You should let me keep it.
I would let him keep that, to be honest.
Like I jump in the air so he can send me farther. I hit a wall and I'm just like,
See, the thing
Oh.
is most of you guys are never going to use this because you don't want the disadvantage. Kotaro, he's never going to use it because he's in melee. But when he is in melee, it would be the funniest thing ever.
Well,
Yeah, like
first of all,
mine as well.
I mean, first of all, I gotta see if I can like make this a smaller axe.
That's true. Well, necessarily, you don't have to make it smaller axe. You can just have the disadvantage.
I mean, it would work well with me for 2d12.
You could literally reckless attack.
Yeah, honestly, if you do want this axe, like if you can make it smaller, you can have it. But if you can't make it smaller, I'm keeping it, bro.
Okay, I can try.
That's my
But
prerogative. Like,
if I do use that axe though, uh, I might have to get rid of my maul.
bah, it doesn't matter.
My maul's a +1, by the way, so is that
'How much does your maul do?
2d6.
2d6. Ah, dude, take the axe.
What is
Yeah,
lay
but
on hand? Wait, what? How do you do lay on hand? Like, what's the 5? Isn't it 5 times my paladin level?
Level. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
have 10 lay on hands.
Are we gonna be able to take a long rest?
I mean, yeah, you were actively sitting down to rest when you guys wandered away.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just tell me when I'm putting my health back up on me.
No.
So,
Unless you guys have anything else, you guys can do it right now.
Zal's just
Nah,
like
bro.
gonna just stare at what just happened. It's like, Kotaro, I did not know
no.
you. I did
What?
not
Keep
know
going,
you
keep
had
going.
that strafe.
Well, it just comes with being the best at
I
everything.
I can see that. You mind if I could have a go?
All you hear
You'll
from the
have to
back? All you
attune
hear
to
from the
it.
back is if another one of you fuckers hit me, I'm gonna kill all of you.
Nah,
Just
bro.
let me swing to it, like at least once.
Okay. All right, but once I get its back, I'm taking a swing on that captain.
Maybe not a good idea.
Let's kill another
kid might.
Zalizo captain!
Hey,
Tour warden!
hey,
Okay.
if you get to do it, I get to do it.
Hey, I did not mean to kill that one. Okay, why did you bring that up? Okay, and Zal's gonna look at Kotaro for a second. I shouldn't hit you with this.
No, you will most definitely cripple me for life.
Yes. Zal was just gonna like go find like a nearby tree.
Okay.
He's going to try to attack with it. Is this technically a +1 weapon or no?
No.
Okay, so just a normal
That's
attack
why
roll.
it's so bad, really. It's
Yeah.
because it's really hard to use, and it has no benefits other than it can crush you and knock you to the floor.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just swing it, see what happens. I'm recklessing, so straight roll. 24.
All right. With a 24, it's a strong weapon, and you don't cut the tree in half. Now that would be a little bit much, but with 2d12 damage, and with your extremely strong form, it is a hard cut. You dig probably more than 3/4 the way through the nearby tree. It's not a very large tree, but you do cut most of the way through it with that single strike. And the tree, almost giving into the magic, begins to fall over slightly by itself. It's a really odd sight, but it's also not that uncommon from how deep of a cut you caused.
Zal's just gonna like shake his head as he kind of like, I mean, it's certainly a fine axe, but it's hard to carry. But
Yes,
Zal-
no, give it back. Give it back.
hold on now, hold on. Zal's just gonna look over it, kind of like feel the metal for a second, just like touching it, trying to get like a familiar touch with it. I couldn't figure out what this metal was. Do you know what it is? I mean, you did kind of like examine it for a while.
Trent, would I?
It was adamantine.
It's adamantine. There you go.
Okay. Zal will kind of just like hand the comically large great axe
Yep.
to Kotaro. Is like, does Zal know what adamantine is? because he used this mission.
Yeah, you know what it is, and you even saw it not too long ago in a massive monolithic structure over Morden's Hall's church. In that church, where the fire was or the smoke was going out while you were doing your smithing competition, that was the largest man-made structure in Wildmount and likely the world, made purely of adamantine.
Okay, Zal's just gonna nod. It's okay. Okay. I'll if I get to a forge sometime, I can make that smaller for you so you can wield it a bit better.
I don't need it to be
Listen
smaller.
here, homie. He ain't in that. That's mine. I'll kill you.
Like, if you don't want it, okay. If you don't want it smaller, I guess you can keep the large axe. It's gonna be certainly a sight to see for
No,
many
not
people.
hey, let's make it fair. Let's make it fair. If a wizard is wielding it, you have to make it do 3d12.
I can't just do that. That's not how it works.
Yes, you can.
Okay, but also Chase, you do you,
That is a fireball in my hands with every attack.
it really is.
Listen, if you can wield a comedically large axe and have the body physique of a 12-year-old girl, you
16
should be able to do
strength.
3d12.
Hey, dude, he is
No, bro.
He's actually pretty strong looking. That's the thing. Totoro is a beast.
I have a 16 strength, Chase. I have 16 strength.
So he's probably almost as strong. Actually, what's your strength, Chase?
He's as strong as I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wizard is
Yeah,
as
bro,
good
back
with this
off.
weapon as you would be.
Back off, bro.
And it even makes it funnier because, like, due to Hero Chronicles, he's got the proficiency with it too.
Yeah.
No, guys, I'm straight up about to go back and become a blade singer just because of this axe.
No, did
no,
you
actually,
literally
that's
have
a bad
time?
idea.
You
You
do
know why?
that, right?
Because it's
What?
all your weapons for Blade Singer have to be dex based to be beneficial.
Yay.
I'll
Uh,
make it dex based. Don't worry.
yeah, cut it down to a dex based axe. But anything
Okay.
else you're doing, or are you going to finish your trek back into the menagerie?
We're gonna finish that
Snuck
track
around the wall.
with the comedically large fucking axe.
Yep.
I carry it on my person at all times.
Yeah, the axe is actively as big as him, and it like clips stones as he walks. But you know, he can wield it pretty effectively, to be honest. And you finish your next little quarter of your journey, having spent nearly, well, more than a month actually, on the road. 10 days out, 10 days back, and then another 6 days or so in the mountains. You finally make your way back on the road just outside of your Wayun gates. Your mission has been completed. And
How
as
many
you
cards
approach
survived?
that last little setup, as you approach the last steps of your journey and the first little tents in the setup village you have here for the military people, that is where we're going to end this session with a comically large axe.
Hey.
A
How
slightly
many
shorter
cards survived?
session.